Right. All right. So tonight we have another tier episode. Tonight we're going to be ranking individual horror films, and we actually got a pretty good guest list tonight. One person we haven't had back in a while, and another person is new. So hopefully we don't run her off before the episode is over. So we'll go ahead and introduce each person. So, here's myself, KamKickz, as usual. I'm here, also known as the Pod Mother. Whoever you may ask, don't ask me because I'm gonna deny it. And next we have AKA Alpha. Go ahead, do your intro.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy AI Alpha, aka the Negro Gadian, aka the Black Chuck Norris with the chest hairs, aka Mr. Problematic, the OG Black Ranger, aka Spartan Luther King, aka No Good Marshall, aka her name is Kunta, not Toby, and no red
Bro,
cup
I
today.
always have so many AKAs.
Can don't
Always.
Love it.
Always.
don't disturb me. Go ahead, Bo.
Oh, okay. So no, Bo, shut up.
Oh God.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Inside the Mind of a Blood podcast. We have now Bo done did it because he done did something, and I will tell you what he done did. Mr. Bo, aka the salad tosser. The salad tosser with ranch. The
I
member
know
of the
you
crew
didn't.
team.
I know you didn't, Abraham.
The
I know
gamer
you
of
did
this
not.
podcast. I welcome you. I introduce you to the gamer of the Inside the Mind of the Blood podcast. Eater of egusi and iyon. Again,
Boy,
tosser of salads with a little
boy, the
ranch
pits
on
of hell
top.
just seem to love you, don't they?
It is
And
well
for,
done. There.
and for somebody talking about a mic, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Is it messing up?
Right?
Am I?
Go ahead, Bo. Introduce yourself, Bo. Introduce yourself.
Well, hey, without y'all letting me know.
I just did.
Hold on. After fact, come on. I've been talking this whole time. Now it's messing up. Hold on.
Yeah, you was fine before. Like, okay.
So,
Why don't you introduce yourself, Bo?
yeah, we're gonna try to put that in the funny reels, and I'm gonna ignore that. Me and Bo done did it. AKA the tall black African in the crew, AKA the darkest night ever, AKA Bo doing it big. That's what my name spelled. So here I am. We're here with the tie list. So I'm going to enjoy this. We're here to have fun and enjoy the tail list. So it's going to be fun.
All right. And one of our special guests, Wang. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Wang Bop, aka Instagram's little baby princess. I don't got as many AKAs as everybody else. And this is Boingo, my plushie. He's my best friend. That's all I got.
Is cool. And then we have a special guest joining tonight. This is her first time on Inside the Mind of a Blerd, and she's going to be joining the chaos as a guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, love.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Love the Senpai. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I love being here. I love the energy so far. I love everybody. This is nice. You definitely haven't ran me off. You made me want to stay, so that's for sure. And thank you guys for welcoming me. So,
All right, glad you're here. And then last but not least, Abraham. Go ahead, do the intro. Go ahead, Abraham.
Is the mic coming across clearly? I just switched it.
You're good now. You're good now.
Real good.
Anyway, so the
And he
toss
got loud.
salader
Oh,
of the salad tosser that was Bo. He's not the only Nigerian here. It is, as you know, Prince A Lawal, aka son of Darkseid, aka Anikulapo himself, aka La Buru de Jin of Apocalypse. I'm here. I haven't been on an episode in a minute, but it's good to talk some horror with the squad, old and new, guest and non-guest, and Cam. Chill out, okay? Chill out. I'm just here to enjoy what you got in store for us. You feel me?
no, okay. All right then. So, Alpha, if you want to bring us to the screen, as I stated, today's Inside the Mind of a Blerd episode, since it's October, we're doing special themed horror type episodes, and this is another tier, and we're going to be ranking the movies individually, horror movies individually, and the ranks that we have in the categories. First is going to be leave that shit to the Yeti people. Fuck that shit. Leave the lights on. Stay in the group. You heard that. My mama's scarier than you, and I'll slap the shit out of you. So those are how we're going to be ranking, and these are going to be the movies, and we can have a consensus. If everybody is voting, it should go on one, or we can have a showdown on some of them. So starting with our
Are you
first
saying
movie,
that majority rules? Is that what you're saying?
because it may depend on how that goes. We just
Oh,
have
I
to
just
see.
want, I just want to make sure,
Wait,
when it comes to the rankings, that it's majority rules. I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
is
for
established
the
at the
most part, yeah,
beginning.
majority.
At the beginning.
Okay, so the only question I have is when you ranking, is it up or down, which is good as best?
So
Yeah, because some of the
the
titles could be taken a certain way. Like, hey, that's not bad. That's that's why.
so basically, I'll slap the shit out of you is like the lowest ranking you can give, and then leave that to the Yeti people is the highest, and then it goes, gradually down like that.
Okay.
So that's how that works. So let's get into the first movie. What's the first movie we got, Alpha?
The first one is Psycho, the OG Psycho.
Psycho. I mean, it was definitely good for its time, and it's still having a lasting effect. But
It's one of those that's carried by nostalgia.
Yeah. And
so
it's hard to rank because, like, we already talked about it. Older movies, when you bring them up, you kind of have to look at like the elements of what make them scary and not the actual movie, because they normally don't translate.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
So
plus, we've gotten some better iterations like American Psycho, the Bates Motel, and all of that. So it's just a matter of, does it even stand on top of its franchise, really? And personally, I don't think so.
So with all that being said, where would y'all put it?
Like that. Go up to the rankings. Is it maybe leave the lights on?
I was going kind of low. I was going like, you heard that.
I was going to say that. You heard that.
I would probably go below leave the lights on. Maybe.
So stay in the group. That's a good middle.
Because the thing is, it still does have a scary factor, because it's not as though there's like a supernatural feel to it. It's like you're dealing with a legit crazy person.
It wasn't really too scary, but it was like a decent enough to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got this one. We all agreeing that pretty much the majority is we gonna put it in stay in the group.
Yeah.
All right.
So next we have the Exorcism of Emily.
Fuck that shit.
That one,
fuck that shit. Minimum.
Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I might go fuck that shit.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Fuck that shit.
I'm not fucking with. I'm sorry.
Nah.
One of my favorite exorcism movies.
Hey, I'm not.
Yeah, that one.
I'll make another one. Y'all can have it.
Exactly.
That shit is fire.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next?
Next, we have Poltergeist.
Poltergeist was free.
Yeah, I say leave the lights on.
Yeah, leave the lights on because I can't.
I do want to add the added scare factor to remember all of the stars of Poltergeist died like shortly after
that. Okay, so we can move that up to fuck this shit.
Fuck that shit. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Okay, yeah. So that alone gets it moved up to fuck this shit. It's still like to this day when the dad drinks the worm, that
yeah,
like that's still. I was like, you ain't feel it.
And like I said, you find out that all of them died. Like not
He's trying to street shit
straight. Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery has nostalgia factor too, because I remember rewatching it a couple years ago, and it was like, it's a slow ass movie in the beginning. Like, yo, that shit low-key boring as fuck.
I was talking about that too, about how a lot of the older movies were like that. That's how it was like that slow build. I'm gonna put it at My Mama's Scarier Than You.
Yeah.
Wow, that low? Because that one still scares me. I'm talking about the original, not the remake.
Yeah,
like the original where the little boy cutting the ankle.
I would put more like You Heard That.
I deal with that. Yeah. I heard that.
I'm satisfied with that. You heard that.
Yeah, it's good because it's not that scary now that I think about it when I watched it before.
All right, when y'all pets sitting up here coming back and y'all little kids over here cutting y'all hamstrings.
Good thing I don't have any pets.
I don't have any pets either.
That's why it wasn't that scary to me, because the premise of it isn't that scary. Because again, I was just
it's not scary to me. I'm gonna go to the lowest one.
First of all, and especially the remake.
Scared.
Why the hell would you have your kid playing out in the front yard where Major Street where a nigga can get hit by a truck? That was some white people shit. Some mayo monkey shit.
It was very ranch roaches.
Like, bruh. Dead silence. Dead silence is at minimum leave the lights on.
At minimum.
I respect that one. I respect it.
Yeah.
I
was thinking even stay in the group.
I'm
gonna say leave the lights on.
I'm gonna say leave the lights on.
Yeah, leave the lights on. The movie is good, but it's not really that.
I'll watch it now.
I can't wait for this next one.
No, I can't wait either, because I'm gonna rip it a new ass.
Yo, put that shit out of you. Put that Paranormal Activity is one of the most overrated shit of all time. That shit is so bad.
No. It got bad. It got bad. Now, like when it started,
this is number 2.
I fell asleep.
Number 1 was weak. If number 1 was weak, it got weaker from there. I will admit though, the trailer for the new one does have me interested somewhat, but hey, after how many films? 6 films of disappointment, the bar is in hell. And not the time.
Oh no, I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's that low. I'm definitely not gonna say
it's that low.
The first time I watched that movie. And second of all, the reason I'm putting it as I'll slap the shit out of you, again, I'm looking at the actual premise of the movie. A ghost around here moving shit, we can buy.
It was a demon. It was a demon. Listen, until y'all sit up there and have the town that is taking place in come across the screen and it's the town that you live in. Like at the time when it came out, when it said Moore Park, California,
they did try to play it as if it was real. They did.
I will say,
yeah.
When you watch all the films, you're like, this shit doesn't play out. But when you take the time to like read the plot of every film, you're like, yo, this does sound interesting. Then you remember that when you watch it, the shit didn't hit at all. I'll slap the shit out of you.
Because the reason I could give it a low rating, because I mean it still holds true, at some point. The biggest thing is, like, even though it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, so you actually have to watch those in a certain order and not in the order that they were released. And if you're not taking time to do that, that can kind of just lead you elsewhere as far as like what the film, like what the whole premises of the film is.
That makes
But
sense.
even if you
I
watch it in
understand.
chronological order, the
'Cause I
shit
didn't watch
still
it
don't
after two.
bang. It still
Oh,
don't
no.
bang like that. The shit is weak. Paranormal Activity is overrated. Get this shit out of here.
I didn't even.
Bro,
I didn't
you're
even know.
already so okay. So
Yeah.
what we giving it? So what
I'll
y'all
slap.
giving it?
I'll slap
I'll
the shit
You
out
slap
of
say
the
you.
shit out
scarier
of
than
you.
my mama.
Oh, no.
I'm more
Lower.
good.
I'll
It's
slap
lower.
you.
Okay, so how many for my mama scarier than you?
I'm gonna say me.
I'm gonna say
Okay, so
I'll
how
go
many for
that
I'll slap
tempo.
the shit out of you?
I'll slap the shit out of you because it's disrespecting my mama if I say my mama's scared in Paranormal Activity. That's me saying that my mama not scared. My mama scares the shit out of me when she needs to. Put that shit
So
lower.
we going with I'll slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, that shit trash, yo.
All right, so next is Annabelle. I'm giving Annabelle automatic
Hell nah.
even fuck that
Fuck that
shit
shit.
or leave that to the white people, to the Yeti people.
Ah,
It's
I'd go with
white
that.
people.
Yeti people.
The white people, yeah. Leave it to the white people.
I'm
Because
conflicted
it's
because
it's a scene in there where she's running from the basement where she was doing the laundry, and like as she's at the stairs and she looks back and it's pitch black, you don't see nothing, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden you just see these teeth, and then you see these eyes. That scene still fucks with me.
And the other thing
Like
with
it
Annabelle,
still fucks with me.
I also feel you got to give Annabelle credit because Annabelle's iconic. Like even when you see her throughout the Conjuring universe, you like, yo, that's her. Like there goes Shorty. Like
Yeah, and then the thing is, Annabelle's an actual real doll. She looks like a Raggedy Ann doll. She's not, because the one in the movie is not what it actually looks like. It's an actual like Raggedy Ann doll that the Warrens have at their, and they're both deceased. And they have a whole museum of their actual things that they've collected, throughout the years. And no, so that one, because Annabelle just been like the Conjuring universe. Annabelle somehow been in it. Even La Llorona, that one, because that's part of the Conjuring universe
that
too.
movie was
And
trash.
she's in there. I think they definitely could have did better because they were soft on that one.
The
They
Nun
were
was
soft
trash
on that.
too.
Here's my thing.
Yes, the Nun disappointed me because there was so much
It was
build
very
up for that.
It was weak.
So much
The
build up
Nun
for that.
ruined The Conjuring 2 as a rewatch. When you watch everything, especially but here's my thing. Out of all the Annabelle movies, for me, Annabelle Creation was a better film than Annabelle.
Yeah.
It was a better film.
He's saying is how scared.
But Annabelle didn't, because here's the thing with me. When it comes to stuff that involves dolls, the one that scared me the most in the beginning was Child's Play. And then once we got to like Bride of Chucky, so this was still before Annabelle's time. It was just like, or around that time, it was like, yo, dolls don't scare me no more. So that's why Dead Silence is not frightening or whatnot. I know people out, it's not frightening for me. And as a result, Annabelle was never frightening for me. But Annabelle Creation was a better told story that I thought hit better than actual Annabelle. So for me to say like Annabelle is top 2, would have to say like Annabelle Creation has to be higher than that, and I can't say that.
Well, not necessarily. They could go together, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Nah, they could don't even have on the same plane. I have Annabelle Creation better than Annabelle, but not to the point where I would say Annabelle Creation is top 2 tier based on these rankings.
Okay, so the Annabelle that we do have. So
I would put that.
I'm still going top
leave
ranking.
the light on. Leave the light on.
What did she say, Wayne?
I said I'm still going with leave that for the white people personally. I think.
Yeah.
Bit to the Yeti people.
I would.
Yeti people, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. So, hey, don't even front. I feel like in an action situation, you would outscream all of us.
Hell nah. I'm going out.
I feel like you would outscream all of us and probably outrun all of us.
Well, actually, here's the thing. When it comes to possession,
he definitely probably going to trip one of us and sacrifice us. He definitely probably going to trip one of us and sacrifice us.
I mean, yeah,
exactly.
Definitely one of y'all is being sacrificed for sure. That's
okay because
we just admitted it. He said he would trip us and sacrifice us. He already said it.
And I am not surprised. That's okay because we're gonna do a horror movie marathon at some point before the month's over, and we're gonna have to pull out the scariest ones we got, and we're gonna maybe get some drinking going. and whoever's the drunkest or whoever ends up being the scaredest, it'll probably be me, but hopefully it's Abe
Or-
before me.
No, it's gonna be Steve.
You know
Gonna
what
be
I'm gonna
Steve,
yell
yeah.
at? No, I'm gonna be the loudest one because you know what I'm gonna do. Drink it. You gonna have me drunk watching horror movies.
I was
You know
about
what
to
I'm
say,
gonna do?
Abe
I'm
got-
gonna be like,
he got
that
some bit
motherfucker
of a
stupid
cover
as hell.
tattoo.
Kill that nigga. Kill that. Like just
We
how
gonna
I was for
have
Halloween
your
Kills.
mic disconnected. We gonna have your mic disconnected.
have
I'm gonna be rooting for the ghost. I'm gonna be like, get that nigga. Yeah,
Honestly,
get that
disconnect the
motherfucker.
mic and the video. We'll just know he there in spirit.
Yeah, we'll.
Yeah.
He gonna be turning that
He gotta
keyboard
text
up.
you. He got a text.
He gonna be turning that keyboard up. But yeah, so we gonna have Annabelle. We gonna leave that to the Yeti people. So Sinister.
Fuck that shit.
I say.
Fuck
nah,
that
No,
shit.
I say leave the lights on.
No, it's better than that.
Come on,
I'll
you
go
remember
minimum,
that?
fuck that shit.
Hold up.
I'm gonna say stay in a group.
It's at least fuck that shit off of the scene with the lawnmower. Don't stop.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
stop.
When they showed you what happened in each videotape, first of all, that shit was creepy, especially how the camera work was great.
It was so
shout out
quiet.
to
It was
shout out-
good. Yeah.
Is it Scott Derrickson? No, Flanagan who did Sinister? Mike Flanagan who did Sinister?
I have no idea.
Sinister. It was Scott Derrickson.
No, yeah, Scott Derrickson. We just posted about this. Scott Derrickson, he understands horror. His camera work, like Sinister, was not overly bloody, and the use of found footage within the movies. And then when you find out that it was the kids doing this shit to their own family,
You found out it was
and
the
such
daughter.
fucked up
But
ways.
he was possessing them.
Yeah, and he was using the kids to do some of the most horrific shit you can have to a family. Not like, oh, some madman maniac came in. Nah, this nigga convinced little Timmy from down the street to go ahead, lay his family down, and just run them over. Bro, that shit gotta be minimum. Fuck that shit. Sinister is a great film. Scott Derrickson doesn't have a lot of movies under his belt compared to Flanagan and James Wan, but the movies he does have when it comes to horror, they're really good, and Sinister is definitely the best one. Minimum, fuck that shit.
Minimum.
Oh,
okay.
I'm staying in the group, but I guess the majority rules.
Damn,
Just
you
going
gonna
with
put us
that
stay in the
shit.
group, Cam?
Yeah, it didn't
Sinister
do
like
it
that?
for me.
Wow.
It didn't do it for me.
I mean, it was a stay in the group for me. So.
Oh.
Yeah, it did not do it for me.
I mean, this is a
Cloverfield.
trade-off because you're you know what? All right. Cloverfield for me is like My Mama's Scarier Than You. It's one of the main movies that made me not really like found footage until I started rewatching some more recent found footage and came across some new ones. Cloverfield seemed more like a sci-fi action movie to be honest.
Yeah.
Not really a horror.
Yeah.
If anything, I would leave it at you heard that. I mean, y'all may want to pick something else because the thing with Cloverfield, like being found footage, it was like they were trying to hint at the aliens or whatnot, but they didn't like actually show them till finally. Like that was what they were trying to do, and it was just too much going on because sometimes when they do it like that and they don't necessarily show the creature or the monster, it builds up anticipation.
Yeah.
But by the time you got through having motion sickness, you just like, you know what? Let the
And it was
fucking
a long
alien
movie.
get
if
you.
I'm not mistaken. It was a fairly long movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
it was for it to be doing all of that moving.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that didn't hold my interest. I will go
Yeah.
my than you. It didn't hold my interest.
Like I won't dismiss it because I know a lot of people like
I can
Cloverfield.
accept it. I can accept it
Yeah.
as My Mom's Scarier Than You.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Honestly-
when we got to the plot twist, I didn't care about the plot anymore. I didn't care.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I probably won't be recommending any of the movies for I'll slap the shit out of you because Paranormal Activity is just that bad. So like my minimum threshold outside of that is My Mama's Scarier Than You.
You know what? You just shut right on up.
I'm just saying. What's the next film?
What we got next? I know what you did last summer. Is that what that is?
God, I hate this movie.
No, never mind.
Yeah,
Bring it. I'll slap the shit out of you. Yeah, bring that back.
Yeah, I'll slap the shit out of you. Yeah.
I did not know that was on this list. Yeah, bring that shit
Did
back.
they get terrorized by a sticky note? Like somebody left a sticky note, like we know what you did. I'd be dead.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
bro, I kid you
Tell me,
not.
you tell me
I-
leave that sick. No, bitch, you gonna have to tell me what I did because I ain't gonna tell you I did.
I'll be like, oh,
Bro.
you know what I did? Because I don't.
I
Yeah,
kid you not. The
listen.
TV show on Amazon, I was like, you know what? Chucky, the TV series is out, and Chucky, the TV series is a banger. I was like, all right, let me give I Know What You Did Last Summer a chance because it looks like slashers are trying to make a comeback right now. And I watched the TV show. 16 minutes, I was like, I regretted it at 5 minutes in, but I was like, let me just ride it out. It was 16 minutes of a 45-minute show, and I said, you know what? I'm dropping this shit. I can't do it. So overrated.
I hate the fact that it became a franchise. Like, I hate the fact that they dragged it out for, what was it, 3 movies? It's like, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
3 movies, and now
I still know what
show.
you did last summer. Like, all right, are you going
But
to
the thing
was,
was,
or not?
I'll
Like,
give them this. 1 and 2 were related. Number 3, the only relation was like, hey, the killer was here to terrorize someone else. And it's like, yo, even though you have the same killer from first 2, his reasoning for coming after these people don't make sense in the 3rd movie. It didn't make sense. At least it made sense in the first one. Like, he was affected and he wanted to get revenge. Cool. But then a 3rd one? And now you have a TV show, which is like, yo, similar to basically Scream, the TV series, which also was kind of trash. As much as I love the Scream franchise, Scream, the TV series, was not as good. And they knew that themselves because with the next season, they completely rebooted the whole thing. I Know What You Did Last Summer was a franchise we didn't need at all.
at all.
Nope.
Should have been a one-off.
Yeah.
We definitely did not need that. So next we got The Grudge, and I'm going for leave that to the
Fuck
white
that
people because
Yeah.
you can't convince me not to not be scared of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
This is-
I'm
Fine.
This is all
scary.
this is off technicality for me. I would put it as like, you know, maybe leave the lights on. The OG version, the Japanese version, I'll be like,
that's the one. That is
that's the Japanese one.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the one.
it look okay.
Yeah.
Then
Oh, then,
I'll leave it there. Yeah, I'll leave it
yeah,
there
I'll go with it.
Yeah,
because I thought it was the American
know-
remake. That one didn't hit.
And
No,
then you
we-
know
we
what's
select the
fucked up
Japanese
about
version.
the whole thing? It does not matter if she gets like her revenge. She is just grudge and revenge driven. So ain't no like compromising with her and nothing. It's like no, the baby over here screaming like a cat, her over here coming from the roof. Yeah, that still fucks with me today, but I still love it.
Wait,
But
hold on. Who the hell put Jason X on this in this? Oh, why y'all do
We're
that?
not even
Why
there
y'all do
yet.
that to my man?
hey,
We ain't
you
even
slow
there
down.
yet.
No,
We ain't
but I
even
just
there
think
yet.
Slow
that,
down.
wow, y'all really gonna do Jason dirty like that by putting Jason X in here? Oh, y'all foul for that.
What you
That's
gonna do
disrespectful.
is you gonna follow the ranking
That's
with the rest of
disrespectful.
us.
All right, what's the next one? Drag Me to Hell? Is
We
that
got
what that is?
13
No,
ghosts.
it's 13.
Oh,
goals.
13
Oh,
ghosts.
13
Oh, all
ghosts.
right.
That one is
I
definitely leave it to the
slapped
Yeti
the shit
people.
out of you.
Definitely leave it to the
Look,
Yeti people.
The concept is amazing. It's
Yes.
just-
Yes.
Oh.
wasn't.
Hold up. I want to ask
And-
the group. When is the last time you rewatched 13 Ghosts? Because
Oh, I
I've
watched it
When
the
rewatched
other
you
day.
mean
I
when's
watched
the
it
last
every
time I
Halloween.
I laughed
could?
over the
Last
weekend.
time I could watch it? Because I don't know which one of y'all want to run into Jackal.
Bro,
Look.
all I'm gonna say is this: the last time I watched it, it felt like a comedy. I watched it a couple of
No,
months
it
ago.
was
and I
hilarious.
laughing.
The
Yeah.
concept
Very
was,
funny.
was
Yeah.
there, was well put, was there. It's just
Yeah,
the
because,
movie.
like facing the actual 13 ghosts is what's scary. It's at the end when they try to tie it up into some like lovey-dovey, romantic type thing and walk off into the wind, even though she's like dead or whatever. But if like the actual ghosts like that, they still scare me. Like,
I
yeah.
told this. There need to be a TV series just for the 13 ghosts itself. How
A
they became
TV
the
series would
ghosts.
actually be dope. A TV
probably
series
would.
would be dope.
If
I will
they
say
do
this,
it
and
right.
it's similar
If they
to
do it.
what, it was similar to what Alpha and Wang said. Like, especially when we first watched it, when it first came out, it definitely was creepy because it was,
Oh, yeah, I was
it was
scared.
gory too and whatnot, and the
Mhm.
concept was great. But then when you rewatch it recently, it's just like, ooh, like damn, that was just little kid me being scared. Adult me wouldn't be, but it's still one of my favorite movies because at least it's enjoyable to watch. Whether you find it scary or like Wang said, a comedy, it does, at least it does something. So I would be like, you heard that for me, I'll be you heard that
Okay.
because when the ghosts get involved, like you said, Jackal and them is like, hold on now, you heard that nigga, hold
Then you
on,
had
hold on. I'm not
was
trying to
it
run across
the
that nigga.
Juggernaut?
That, like I said,
Yeah,
I would have to stay in the group. I would give it a vote for stay in the group because I don't know which one of y'all gonna take on the gluttonous baby.
Y'all
I
are.
don't know which one of y'all gonna take on the jackal. I don't.
Not me.
First of all,
you know what?
It's like
I don't believe in
the
board
ghosts
versus
themselves
education,
are
yo.
scary.
Children are left behind.
What you say?
Wait. In 13 Ghosts, you had too many people being slimy. You had the dude who started the whole thing being slimy. Then they had different agendas of what they wanted to do. Then you had some of them getting possessed and killing each other, and then you seeing things, and it's possible you might not make it out, and then like they almost died trying to get out. So it's just like it's just like
when they did
it's too
get the
much, and
jackal?
then you gotta deal with
Yeah.
doors closing, ghosts coming out, and you gotta
And
avoid
then
the ghosts. No,
yeah,
too much
getting
going
trapped
on.
with a
The fact they
ghost.
doing all this in the
I'm
glass
leaving it
house.
to the Yeti people.
Yeah, the glass house.
You know what?
It's
If
a glass
anything,
house.
that movie was tiring. If
It
anything,
was.
that movie just was
I will say
tiring.
this.
Like, geez.
One of my favorite. Well, first of all, I want to say shout out to Shaggy and Monk. You know, because this
Yeah,
was the
all I
time
think
like
of
when
was
the TV
Shaggy.
show Monk was out, and Monk,
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub and Monk was a fun show. But I will say that
Yeah.
one of my favorite scenes in that film was when they were getting I believe the Jackal, or it's either the Jackal or the Juggernaut, and they were in the car lot, and then all of a sudden people were just being flown across and being killed inside the cars and whatnot if they didn't find higher ground. I was like, I think it was the Juggernaut.
Yes,
that shit
that's the
was
Juggernaut.
hilarious. Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is a great scene in a film. Like, not in terms of scary, but just in terms of like, wow, y'all niggas is fucked. Like, woo, good. I hope y'all family, you had life insurance for y'all families, because this is crazy. So
Like, it was definitely a great concept, but like
Yeah.
at like rewatching it, you see like it's more comical.
Yeah.
The
TV
initial
series
one,
would
of
bang.
course. Yeah,
Give me a TV series instead.
give me a TV series
Okay.
explaining how each ghost became a ghost.
Okay, so we leaving that.
I
You heard
say
that?
I say you heard that.
Yeah, I'm fine with you.
Yeah.
Heard that.
I'm okay with that.
I'm good with
Because
that.
I mean, it doesn't belong in the same category as Psycho. I feel blasphemous saying that. I feel blasphemous saying that.
All right, next we have
Okay.
Silent Hill.
Oh, that's one of my favorite horror movies. Oh, nah, B. Oh, minimum
What is
fucking
it?
budget, not because of fear.
I say
Just
leave
it's a
the
great
lights
story.
on.
What is
It's a
it?
good story.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
I really like
I would
the
leave
story.
the lights on.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
would
As
also
a person
leave the
that
lights
played the
on.
game, I was disappointed.
Yeah, same
okay.
here. Same.
For me, why I would say why I would place it where I do and why I feel so strongly about it is because I never played the video game. So just I knew nothing about the game going in, and as
Yeah,
a movie, I strongly enjoyed it. It was afterwards that I realized that a lot of people played the video games. They were like, yo, this shit wasn't it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's unfortunate. I still never played the video games, but it's a movie that I love to rewatch at times because it's just, I enjoy the story. I enjoy the punishments that happen, the music, when the sirens go off, just how it looked, everything just going from normal to all of a sudden
Yeah,
flaking
like
off.
and I
It
think they
was
also
good.
did a really good job on the creatures, like
Yeah.
creating them
signs is
and
spot on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
So
the
I'm
original
cool with
story.
leave the lights on. I'm cool with leave the lights on.
It's
I'll
just the
accept
original story that didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that
The
for those who
second
play video
one,
games. I get it. Oh, second one was not
yeah,
that.
I was okay. That one, I feel like the second one definitely probably played a bit more to the video game. I feel like that kind of tried to play into the video game, like with the whole fight scene and like the thing coming in the elevator, and it was just like because it was
Although
like
the
they kind of
nurse's
gave
scene
the
was
video
creepy.
game people what they were looking for.
I tell you this: once you hear those sirens, you better get in cover. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't believe in board versus education. All children left behind. If you get stuck, that's on you. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, that was Yeah. What's our next movie? 28 Days Later. Let's go ahead and put this on up there with. I'm giving it either lead
I'll
it
say
to
fuck
white
that
people
shit.
or
I was
fuck
thinking
that shit.
that movie scared
Fuck
me. I'm
that
glad I'm
shit.
not the only one.
Minimum fuck
Because
that shit. I'll put it at fuck that shit. But it was a good zombie movie. It was.
It was good.
Because I mean, just
It's one of
think
the better
about it.
ones.
I don't
Yes,
know.
like
Right.
what y'all gonna do if like they was like literally running after people? Like that was
Yeah.
I actually posted that for the Halloween like horror set for the movies,
Y'all,
and just think about that. Like they're excessively violent, like
mhm,
unrationally so, and then they can run. Like that
mhm.
just basically blows every conceivable notion you had about like zombie slash mutated humans.
First of
Because
all,
if you're
oh
going from the
God.
because if you're going from the zombie route, you thinking they supposed to be like "Arr," going slow and stuff, and like, bro, your asthma kicking in mid run. Consider yourself dinner.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the
That's
asthma.
The first
Get
Paranormal
back.
Activity. Put that shit in house. Let it join its sequel too. Let it join its sequel.
Oh no, you
I
doing
just
too
feel
much.
bad.
Is that
for
the
every
first
old
one?
because they is
Yeah, it's
good
the first
job.
one.
Like
First
every
one.
old
Yeah,
person
I didn't
join
like
the
any
sequel.
of them, so I'm gonna say the same thing because I didn't like any of them.
Right there.
Wow.
Right there.
I hate that
No,
series.
no.
Wow, y'all is hateful tonight.
The first one, I'm gonna put My Mama Scared and You like
Yeah, I was just going to
more
say
than
something.
the second one for
Y'all
sure.
less than the hateful eight, but y'all right up there.
Wow, y'all really going
We like to
disrespect my
finish
mama
this
like that? Put that shit. I'll slap that shit out of you. I'll slap the shit out of you.
Mm.
I
No,
got
you
out of you.
put my mama
What's that?
scared of you. Put it up there. Put it up there.
That's crazy.
Alright.
Anikulapa himself believes that Paranormal Activity belongs in I Slap the Shit Out of You just
He
for as a
does not. He
disclaimer.
does not.
I
He
do
does
believe
not.
that. Yes, he does.
He does not.
I do.
Alright.
You better keep.
Next.
I don't know how many people you think you're gonna speak in place of, but you better lock them away, Abe.
Wow, we all agree.
Mm-mm.
Alright. This is
It.
the OG It.
Oh, Tim
Remake.
Curry is a motherfucking
Yeah.
god as Pennywise.
OG.
Yeah.
Leave
I
that
have
shit
to
to the
put-
white
I'll
people.
put that leave that
And-
to the white people.
Yeah.
Look, I did enjoy the remake, but it's
Fuck
Tim
that shit.
Curry's version is still elite. So
Yeah.
minimum fuck that shit for me. Minimum
Yeah.
fuck that
I
shit.
go leave it to the Yetis.
Yeah.
I'm
Leave it
I
to
would say-
Stephen King. Stephen King been coming through with the,
He don't.
you know,
He
fuck you
rarely
up
misses.
stuff.
He
Yeah.
rarely
Rarely.
misses.
Yeah.
You know
But
what?
when
It's
he
not
misses,
that
he misses
it's
bad.
not that he misses. It's just when some folks try to do a version of his
you're
books,
right. You're right.
that's what be throwing it up. Because if you've ever listened to an
Read the
audiobook or
book,
even read the
y'all.
actual book,
Mhm.
it's way more in depth than
Mhm.
like what they provide on the screen. So it's not that he be missing. It's just people be taking swings at trying to do their version of it, their
Yeah.
adaptation of it, and it be like it didn't give like it was supposed to give.
Like Dark Tower,
Like
the movie did not give what it was supposed to give at all, and that's
yeah,
not Steven. That's
Didn't
not
they
Steven's
have
fault.
like 3 different versions of that?
They had the Idris Elba and what was it, Matthew McConaughey? That one just because they tried to put too much of Stephen King lore into it to try to be like, yo, this will basically serve as the foundation of the Stephen King universe. All the films and movies will connect to the Dark Tower, and it's like when you don't
and also
originally
like
plan for that, it doesn't hit like it's supposed to. So it's just too much. It just became corny and trying to be like, yo, this could be just a low budget action movie in reality.
yeah. And when they did Doctor Sleep, you know, to after years to follow up from behind The Shining, I was like not impressed. I
Yo,
was
thank
not
you, Cam.
impressed
I was
by
not
the
impressed with
Doctor
Dr.
Sleep.
Sleep.
It was irrelevant after a while.
It was like y'all
Yeah.
got the blueprint. Y'all got the blue. That's what I mean. I understand taking liberties, but at times when you kind of just losing your way, like you got the blueprint. Find your way
Go
back.
Go
Yeah,
back.
like find your way back. You ain't just got to do step for step. because then we'll be there all day trying to watch a movie. But seriously, like when Doctor Sleep came out, I was like extra excited because I was like, this is basically the continuation of The Shining in and I'm like, okay, this gonna hit. I was like, now what is this bedtime story they done set up here and put in front of us?
But
that's I'm sorry guys, that's not on the list, but that's an honorable mention, and if it was here, it would definitely be down on the lower tier.
Yeah, it'll be right there with the Paranormal Activity franchise.
I'd say this is OG. It is the reason why I say fuck that shit. But
which one?
OG It.
I'm fine. Fuck that
definitely.
Shit too. At the minimum, fuck that shit.
No, I'm going to leave it up here, but I'm just saying the reason the phrase "fuck that shit" was because of it.
Mm-hmm. Pennywise is Tim Curry. Yo, Tim Curry deserves his flowers for that role.
Had me scared of clowns for the longest. I'm still not comfortable. I'm still not comfortable with it, but I mean, yeah, that ain't. I'm good.
Next, we have Amityville Horror.
This the OG one?
It's the remake one with Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. I was just watching this movie.
I have to rewatch the Ryan Reynolds. I don't remember it, so I'm gonna abstain from this one. I don't remember the Ryan Reynolds
because that was the one where the little girl put a finger in the hole in the
what?
The gunshot. Yeah. I think that's the one where the little girl put her finger in the gunshot wound hole inside of the ghost head, and I was like, yeah, I'm good on that. I'm real good on that.
It's more between you heard that and my mom scared of you.
Yeah, I was the best one gonna stay in the group. At best, I was gonna. Also, it does suffer from the fact that like Ryan Reynolds is always Ryan Reynolds.
That's another thing too.
So hard to take him serious.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has definitely always been Ryan Reynolds. I said the other day, like it was just a matter of time for him to come into where he's supposed to be. Like the movies that he has been doing recently, they've been good for him because
he always plays himself. He plays himself.
Yeah, so he's been spot on with it. But previous, like his earlier movies, is like you said, Wang, he plays himself and he can't seem to get out of it. But now the movies he's in is like
it's the fact that he's funny and he really does. He's just one of those very unintentionally funny people. Like it's something in the tone of his voice and like the sarcastic, like
appreciate you, love senpai.
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh no problem.
Our guests is leaving. Just want to say appreciate you for coming through. Don't believe anything they said about me. It is all lies.
All the rumors are true. Like
you believe it. But thank you again for participating.
And congrats on your new manga too. Is that she was doing the spaces, Cam? Is that what you?
She was letting us hear like a little bit of the first chapter that she's working on. It's definitely good. She's definitely got something, and so like I told her, she kind of she fine tunes it or whatnot. It's definitely going to be good. But yes, thank you for joining us for the part that you did, and we'll definitely have to have you back again, especially when you get your manga or your webtoon or however you're going to bring that content to us. We'll definitely have to get you back on to talk about it more. Thank you. So our next movie is
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, which one?
That's an important question right there, Wang. That's a great question right there. Which one?
Oh, this is
So the thing is, because they did, like when Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made, they did, take liberties and change it up. But the actual event is 70 miles outside of Dallas. And
girl, to me, you need to move.
Yeah.
And all honesty, like because it's based off a true story.
Massacre. This is the first beat.
Because it's based off of true events, it's creepy, but it's definitely not the best cannibal movie that we've had. Like,
Also, I would just like to say, I think my favorite out of the franchise was like the 03. I'm looking at those right now. It's probably like the 03 when they first rebooted the series that I was old enough to remember. I think the concept of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is really, really scary. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
I don't know if I've seen this particular version.
Yeah, it
the
just
OG
keeps you.
one.
I know it definitely keeps you from stopping at some little rinky dink in the whole wall
absolutely.
town
Absolutely.
and getting gas.
And also the idea of putting the like how iconic it like the idea of putting the face over the face like that's what makes it.
Because it was a real event, and then
I respect Leatherface because of the reality situation, but you know, when you watch any cannibal movie like The Hills Have Eyes, Wrong Turn, and stuff like that, like they all make you be like, hey, my nigga, if that shit ain't on a map, if the GPS don't know where that bitch is, don't go there.
Make sure to gas up. You better gas up.
I'm more
for me is like
stay in the group with this one.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
I apologize, Leatherface, because you got a big body count and whatnot, and you are creepy knowing that you're based on a true story, but like your films just don't do it for me like that. You feel me?
I can't remember them well, you know? That normally says something for me.
Yeah, I was just saying in group.
I mean, it's for sure better than anything Paranormal Activity ever came out with.
Is that the
Why are you hating on Paranormal Activity?
Yeah,
because it's trash.
Yeah, why don't you leave Paranormal Activity alone, Abraham?
I'm just saying, Paranormal Activity is trash.
Oh,
you're not being very biblical.
I forgot a movie.
Ooh, Children of the Corn. Oh,
Children of the Corn scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Is it number one?
It's the first one.
Yeah, it's
Leave the Lights On.
It was like, I could agree with Leave the Lights On. It was so long before I finally put 2 and 2 together for Children of the Corn, like basically understanding like what was going on. I was like, why they out there? I was like, but I was too scared to even really want to find out why they out there.
Yeah, I was watching child when I like it was one of those things I just ran into it. And I didn't realize what I was watching until I was already good and scared, and it was like I gotta see it through.
Yeah,
tell me, gotta see it through, my boy. Gotta see it through.
See it through, my boy.
For me, Children of the Corn, like nowadays, it's like first of all, I ain't stopping at no rinky dink backwoods Mayo monkey town at all.
Yeah, it's giving real
nowhere.
It's giving real Midwestern.
Yeah, like, you know, first of all, I don't want to be around that. And second of all, my nigga, if you don't start killing these townsfolk, like, you better get you a gun or a knife and start killing these motherfuckers. Like, come on now. Don't be bitch made. I don't care if it's kids. I don't care if it's adults. They coming to kill you. It's survival of the fittest.
I'm leaving.
I mean, if I'm not about to walk because it ain't gonna help. But like, bro, ain't no way these motherfuckers gonna have me sacrifice to no motherfucker over here. Okay, ain't no way.
Yeah. So next, what is that? The ghost ship?
Yep.
I'm gonna say my
mama. Outside of the first scene, the movie's trash.
I don't remember the movie.
I'll tell you this. You remember when Sci-Fi was the OG Sci-Fi channel?
Yeah.
And you know how the Sci-Fi channel had all those movies, and it was like, yo, for a TV movie it was good, but you could tell like, yo, these are B-list, like C-D-list acting. That's where Ghost Ship comes in. So when it used to be on the Sci-Fi channel, I used to watch it because it's like, yo, these are one of the better movies, but in reality, it should be you heard that or my mama scared you. It's fun as hell to watch, though. It is a fun movie because just the story itself and the hauntings and how, you know, like Shorty, a dude goes into the room and sees his fine ass Shorty, like, ooh, you fine as hell. And she like, come here, daddy. And then he like bet that. He's like, let me start smashing. And you know what? It's a motherfucking ghost. And it's an ugly ass ghost at that, but it's too late and now you dead. That's what your horny ass get. So I say, my mama's scared of you.
I'm gonna put it there just because the first scene alone was epic. Outside of that, I just thought the movie was trash.
Mm-hmm. I'm
There
fine
you
with my
go,
mama
Abe.
scaring me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good
Oh
with it.
yeah. Oh, definitely better than Paranormal Activity. Hell yeah. I rewatched Ghost Ship
I love-
way
Wait,
more than
wait,
I
wait,
probably
wait.
rewatched
We'll
Paranormal
get
Activity.
to that later. We'll get to that later because he's not gonna sit up here with this
Wait.
irrational hate.
But can we talk about how he real casual moved it? Like
Yeah.
it was real
Yeah.
casual, like it
I
was
Oh,
super
understand
slick
the
with it.
assignment. He
He
understands
was
the
trying. He
assignment.
was trying to get to the next point. He's like, yeah. So this next movie.
So which one is
Hills Have
this?
Eyes.
Oh, that movie was
Yeah.
creepy as fuck.
Wait, but it's the original
I
one.
think
It's the original
I say
one.
stay in the group.
Stay in the
Okay.
group. If it
I
was
go
a
leave the
remake,
lights on it,
I'll
but I
put
The
it.
remake, yeah, the remake hit better, but that's also more of a like, updated camera work, updated graphics and whatnot. But yeah, I'll
Only
put it as
thing-
stay in the group.
The only thing that I don't know if I should take away from the Hills Have Eyes series or add it to the fear, but not in the way they wanted to. Why did they always have to have a grotesque rape scene? That is what really like
Yeah,
always,
Yeah.
and that was honestly what scared me the most. That's the reason I could never fall asleep with headphones in. Like that movie scarred me. They did
Yeah.
and they did it every movie.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
movie.
It's why I, when I first saw it, I was like, this is not a film I'm gonna rewatch. So it's just yeah, stay in the group. I'm content with.
And
no higher.
in the second or the third one, it's a long scene. I remember both.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's terrible. I remember
Yeah,
them both.
we'll put trigger warnings in the description just in case. But definitely the Hills Have Eyes is just put that bitch in
Next we have
Yeah.
Wrong Turn.
Okay.
Wow, we have all the cannibal movies here. Okay.
So what I was saying about Wrong Turn was always scary for me because, fun fact, my family is from West Virginia, and the town that they say this is in or would be around is not far away. It was very scary.
That changes the whole
That made-
feel
because
of
I
things.
remember,
'Cause
yeah,
it's
'cause
like
you remember it more distinctly.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
With that being said, I always feel like the Hills Have Eyes was scarier, but the cannibals from Wrong Turn were smarter, if I recall.
Yeah, no, they definitely were. They definitely were. Yeah, because they had the traps, they had the hideouts. I will say this,
and they could drive and stuff.
Shout out to one of I loved her because of her role in Buffy and in the Angel series, Eliza Dushku. She was in Wrong Turn. I appreciate her so much. She was in this movie, and she was true to her other roles. She was like, "Bitch, we fighting, like we fighting. I ain't going out like no bitch." You feel me? So I'm fine with staying in the group. Wow, we put all three cannibal movies in the same category. I'm content with that. Cannibal movies are tough ones to watch for various reasons. It's just I won't say that because I will rewatch Silence of the Lambs and any Hannibal Lecter movie any day of the week. But the ones that are meant for like, we gonna try to scare you, we gonna get real grotesque.
And they're not just cannibals, they're inbred cannibals.
Yeah, that's where it starts to get real.
It's the inbred.
Yeah.
That's what
it's
gets
like,
it.
okay, so this is what
it's
happens
not just
when you
like,
start
oh, it's our
inbreeding.
fault. Like,
all right,
some other movies do cannibalisms like this is our culture, or because it's like a food scarcity. That makes sense, but it's like, nah, we inbred. And I believe, especially in Hills Have Eyes, they tried to put in that minor plot of like the government was bombing this area and it's their fault.
It was nuclear, radiation.
It was like we've been outcast.
And they just basically been living there and breeding.
So like they tried, but they didn't. It was too far in the background. And again, great.
And mind you, I will say this for all the listeners too, because there are plenty of movies that involve cannibalism outside of ones we mentioned, like The Descent, for example, Chernobyl. Those are but they do cannibalism in a different way. It like where it makes sense and you can kind of separate yourself from it. With these films, like
sometimes you can understand it.
Yeah, like with The Descent, you can understand. I mean, they mutated and that's how they are. They were once human many years ago. Yeah. Now they're not. But this one is like niggas willingly decided to inbreed and thought that shit was cool. and that's how we got here.
To real life, you know, we had the whole blue people, like legitimately, they were breeding.
Look
with
at
each
the
other,
royal
just mingling
family
with each other.
of look at the royal family of Britain. You know them.
I was gonna say that's the other thing I never liked about Wrong Turn, because at least again with Hills Have Eyes, they had that undergoing plot of like bombing and da. Wrong Turn, it was like, nah, we in West Virginia, nigga.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
My name is Bobby, and I'm gonna put it in my sister Tammy now.
They literally was like, yeah, we in West Virginia with it. What's good? What's bracket? Like,
it is what it is,
bro.
So what's next? We got what is that? The Quiet Place.
Okay, bro. I'm gonna keep it real 100 with y'all.
The second one, I did not too much care for, but the first one.
I watched the first one, and I was not impressed. Like, first of all, it was for me. It was like, first of all, it's like, sister, what, you know, you're supposed to be quiet. Why are you giving your sibling a toy that's gonna go off?
Yeah,
like that made no sense.
Well, y'all also have to take into consideration that the girl is actually hearing impaired in real life, so they actually hired a actual
and I
girl
understood that.
And then, so she can't hear it, she can't tell. She don't hear it. She does not hear it. So
you are the older sibling. You are in the world where you know, like, yo, staying quiet is important. While you yourself cannot hear, and they're working on your hearing aid, you know that it's the stupidest decision.
I think what Cam is trying to say is that if you've never, she can see this toy light up. Her
world has always been like that.
She can't conceptualize the idea that this toy, you know that looking at this toy that it's gonna make noise because that's an understanding you have out of experience. She's never
she's just trying to make her brother happy.
No, I understand that. But you got to remember, the parents said no. So why would you go against your parents in a world where survival is everything? That's
was stupid to help her little brother. She was still trying to be. You talking about her being a big sister? That was the whole point. She was still trying to be a big sister because she knew her brother was he was not in a good place. I mean, you done went from, even though she can't hear, she's always like not had her hearing. She, it's difficult to go from one situation abruptly to another. And then also he's a child.
I'll ask this. I'll ask this. Was she born into this world, or was she already alive and then this world came about?
She was already alive and this world can be, but her little
then I'll
brother.
give her the benefit of the doubt. But like for me, even outside of that, still the movie just didn't hit. Like I wasn't.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
I'll agree to that. Like, it's. I don't want to say I slapped the shit out of you because I don't want to disrespect it like that in comparison to Paranormal Activity.
We'll put it that you heard that. I wanted that you heard that.
Okay. I'm gonna say the other thing is it was very like unrealistic. You know how hard it would be to be just not gonna make noise. What do you mean, bro? Like you could be walking around in the forest and stub your toe and everybody gonna die. Like it's up.
Just
see the way I'm set up. Don't mess around and make me mad because I'm gonna start hollering and duck right before that thing comes. Talk about good luck. I'm gonna be like, be easy.
So Cam setting people up is what she's okay.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, the minute y'all,
you the one that said every child gets left behind.
I don't mean I'm setting people up. It means I am not saving anybody. I'm not setting y'all up. That's different.
No,
that's
all I'm gonna be like, be easy, y'all, and then y'all can figure it out from there. So what we got? Get out.
Why is this horror?
Okay.
I mean, I guess you gotta
count
a horror.
Okay.
This is technically a horror for us.
Yeah, this is where you have to kind of like look into what exactly is horror and where does thriller fall into that? Because this is one of those films that counts more as a horror thriller. For Jordan Peele, I would say this was a great debut film. Yeah. But Us was way better than Get Out, in my opinion. And as a result, I'm gonna put Get Out and Stay in the Group because you're right. For black folks, I mean, yo, I kid you not. So story time. I dated I don't even know if I should publicly admit this. Anyway, I was in the theater.
You dated a uncolored candle.
At one point in my long life, many years ago, I and we were at the theater and there was a bunch of older white people. When I mean like senior citizen white people. So we watching this movie, and I know we getting up to leave at the end, and Shorty was like, "Yo, you dropped your bottle on the floor. You should pick it up." And right next to us were old people. They both turned to look, and I'm like, "Nah. That's first of all, that wasn't my bottle, and second of all, these old people looking at me funny. This is we just watched Get Out. Nah, we gonna get out." So that's where I was creeped out. But it belongs in. You heard that at the minimum, out of respect for Peel. It wasn't scary. Us was definitely 10 times better.
I was gonna say, and it was also what made me the only thing. Get Out was good, but they did advertise it as if it was gonna be a scary movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, but then it kind of just for those who be like, but white people would if given the chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They, like,
I mean, that's what history showed, though. Like this was true. This is honestly, they should say Get Out is based off of historical facts because honestly, that's how they move. But it's just if we were ranking
and if
thrillers,
they could somehow get their bodies and their brains and successfully get their brains inside of our bodies, they really would, because they always talk about how we're built with better endurance and tend to have better groove and all of this stuff. So that ain't letting nobody give me no tea.
Yeah, the social commentary behind Get Out was top tier.
Yes. I will have to say, and maybe nobody else was bothered by it, but when I went to see it, I was a little bit bothered by some of the white people laughing at some of the jokes.
Oh,
in there,
but it was intentional. It was intentional.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, what about this do you find funny? Like, I find it funny in okay, you know how black people, we tend to, you know, kind of make inappropriate jokes and stuff, because if you don't laugh, we'll cry. You know, it's one of those situations. But then it will be some of them, I'm like, well, what do you find? What humor are you finding?
Like,
why
what is this content relatable to you?
Exactly. Like, what about this do you understand where you just like, It was also kind of like Django when I went to go see Django. Like the white people in there, like why were the white people in there? They were like looking around at the other black people to see if they could laugh. I'm like, do what you want to, but I know.
Like, Get Out is a movie I would teach in a Black history class. You know, as like, let's watch Get Out. This is how white Americans, even to this day, but definitely during the times of slavery and Jim Crow era, this is how they actually viewed black people. This is a movie I would use for educational purposes. And that's why it's still good, because like there's levels to it. There's ways you can interpret it and watch it. So out of respect, I'll put at it, you heard that.
Yeah, I think it's just in the wrong. It's got stiff competition, and when you
definitely
it as a horror.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we can,
Jeepers Creepers.
Oh,
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
I'm gonna give it at least leave the lights on. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I say fuck that shit, but as a franchise, I low-key have to knock it just because of the creator was a pedophile. That was unfortunate, and it's the reason why we never got a third. Well, we kind of did get a third one, but it's the reason why the franchise kind of fell apart. As a film, number one it's every time I watch it, it's creepy. It for sure is. The whole concept, the whole idea. I mean, for a movie and then
it's another one where it don't matter too much what you do. This nigga coming back.
Yeah, and
he comes back. Y'all think y'all ripping him apart, but he comes after y'all because he needs new parts.
And you gotta look at it when you look at all these movies too. Jeepers Creepers spent a majority of this time focused on the brother and sister. Like, yes, we got to come across the town people. Yes, we came across that old lady in her house, and but it was ideal. And then at the end of this movie, when we get to the police station, but most of the movie was spent just on the siblings, and that for me elevated the creep factor, because it's like, oh shit, like what if you're on the road with your sibling or you're just your homie, just you two, bro. Most of that movie did was, where do you go for help? Like, how do you combat this? You get separated because old boy falls down the well. It's just, bro, fuck that shit for me. Fuck that shit for me for Jeepers.
And it's, you know what, and it's so fucked up when you get into the second movie, or was it the end, where it's like you recognize the guy's eyes, and it's like Jeepers looking through his skin because he done peeled his skin. It's like, damn, son.
That was so scary.
And keep in mind too, you know, the other thing that when people talk about Jeepers Creepers, something that people don't really speak on is that this man was harvesting the body parts he needed to remain alive, like to stay up to date.
Oh, to talk about brains, eyes, all of that.
I think, like you said, if Jeepers Creepers didn't have the unfortunate occurrence with the creator, if it was allowed to become a franchise, it would have been able to hold up there with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Definitely.
It would have been right up there with them.
So
Jason,
you know what? Because of the creator, I might leave the lights on now because of the creator. Like, how you really fumbled something?
Nah, I don't think that's fair. I think you gotta judge the work. I think you gotta judge the work.
All right, then fuck that shit. Then fuck that shit.
Oh, that shit.
All right. This is
The Conjuring. I'm gonna go ahead and put that and leave that to the white people.
The white people, yeah.
Yeah, leave it to the white people.
Yeah, to the Yetis. I'm with that.
I'll say this.
And I ain't even gonna. I'm not gonna argue with you about this because
no.
Conjuring heavy.
No, I do too. The thing is, and this is actually a compliment for number one. For me, number one was great. Number two was better. Number three was fucking fantastic, and that's great because hardly do you see sequels. Do you see movies like get better, especially when they get when it comes to the trilogy, especially when they come to the third one. So it's like, yo, if we had the other three, I technically can't put the first Conjuring that high because The Devil Made Me Do It was so much better. Number two with valid, and that's if you just forget that the Nun film existed. That storyline and the Nun
disappointed me.
Yeah.
So the Nun disappointed me.
If it was just The Conjuring and the other movies didn't exist, I'd agree. But because the other two exist, I gotta say at least fuck that shit.
But right now we're doing individual movie. We're doing individual movie. So this one right here, like we get the franchise. Yeah, the franchise was the last one.
Yeah,
like this individual movie.
No, I'm not even saying I'm saying individually movie. Like number one would be fuck that shit. Number two would be fuck that shit. Number three would be leave that to the white people. So I personally can't put Conjuring 1 as leave that, but it's not. But again, it's more so like, hey, I'm not gonna tell y'all to change it because it's not me dismissing number one. Number one was a great film. The Conjuring franchise is great and better than the film we're gonna get to in two turns by far.
Yeah,
but I'll let you go.
And then we're also ranking it because the way the ranking works, you know, from you can almost kind of see it as the scariest to the least scary if you're also looking at it from that perspective as well. Yeah, and you know, with the back onto the Conjuring, and it's so crazy because all these are basically stories like based on like what's happened with the Warrens, like stuff that they made. And it's like, yo, that is wow. I mean, it's not to the T, but it's close enough. And it's like, it just lets you know the world's a whole lot bigger than you think.
Right. I want to ask this question to the group. And honestly, this might be one of those where you have to spend the time doing a Conjuring franchise ranking, like in terms of ranking every film in the Conjuring universe. Where, you know, just quick thoughts, where do you guys like view the auxiliary films outside of, so you have the main line, which is Conjuring 1, 2, and The Devil Made Me Do It. Great, top tier. I enjoyed all three. I will rewatch all three within a heartbeat.
Yes.
But then when you look at, I know you guys spoke highly of Annabelle, and for me, I said Annabelle creation was better.
I agree.
We have La Llorona, which I love the story of La Llorona. The execution was terrible.
Right.
I wanted
The
it
Nun
to be.
was
I wanted
terrible.
it to be better. I wanted it to be better than what it was, because they still have to do. Is it the team? What's the one?
They're gonna do a
we've
Nun
had.
too. And
because
they
we've had the Nun, because the Nun has been popping up, and then there was like that elongated man.
The tall man.
Yeah, so there's supposed to be something that's supposed to go with that. So it's a wonder how that's going to be. And Annabelle was.
Yeah, ultimately, my question is, based off your thoughts of the other films, how do you really look at the Conjuring franchise as a whole? Because again, the 3 main films will be great, but as a franchise, they have more. And do the other ones weigh down the franchise for you, or do you kind of just been like,
franchise? For me, as a franchise, they bang more than they miss. And I will say this: their hits hit way harder than their misses miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me,
because 1 to 10 overall, I'll give it about a 7-8 as a.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. I give it a solid 8 because
I'll gladly give
they got more that makes up for. In this case, they got more that makes up, like Wang saying, they got more that makes up for their hits more than their misses. Although and I think we take their misses as hard as we do because there was a build up.
The hits,
there was like out because they were introduced. These standalones were introduced to us in the Conjuring universe originally, and then they drifted off. So you drift off with Annabelle, and then with the Nun.
Valak was so much better in number 2, and it led. That's why when you look at the stats of the Nun, like how much money it made, that's why it did so well. Because Conjuring 2 came out,
was a build up because the Nun was just fucking them up damn near every chance they got.
It was the hype.
The hype is why it's a successful movie monetary wise, but then you watch Nun, you're just like, bro. And then you go back and rewatch Conjuring 2, and then you're like, nigga, Valak, if you don't get the fuck out of here,
right?
Honestly,
you corny. But yeah, I would say overall, I feel like if I had to, the way I think of it is like, are the bads bad enough that I'm willing to throw out the good? And absolutely,
no, I can't do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair. I was curious.
If you look at the collective story, how everything's connected together, you gotta give it at least an 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do love that, because of some franchises, when they start making more movies, that's when they start retconning stuff, and then stuff just starts not making sense no more. At least the Conjuring franchise stays consistent. All the movies are all interconnected some way. Okay, I agree with y'all. I'm fine with that. What's the next film?
Okay.
The Ring.
I'm a listen. The Ring, that was another one that still fucks with me because there's a scene in the movie, with like the horses and like when you see the video and stuff like that. At the time, there was also a song that used a similar sound, and I was not able to hear that song in passing and disassociate it from the movie because it's another one that fucks with you. It's like, it don't matter what you do, the curse is just gonna continue. And you still gonna get fucked up, and you gonna have some little girl over here crawling out your TV, wetting up your floor, trying to fuck you up.
For me, The Ring, I have 2 separate thoughts because when it first came out, scary as hell. When I first remember watching it, scary. But you know what really changed my view on The Ring, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But I can't disassociate.
I think I'm on the same page with you.
And that's
Scary movie. Scary Movie 3.
And I'm also referring to the originals, like the Japanese originals. So I don't know which one this is. I don't know if this is the American or the Japanese.
No, it's just unfortunate. Like Wang was saying, Scary Movie 3 came out, and you know what? I never looked at Samara the same again. I was like, I was like,
the
I ain't
scary
scared of your bitch
movies,
ass. Like,
like the franchise, kind of tarnish somewhat of the horror films in a little bit because you don't see it as scary. Like for Scream, for instance,
some of them.
like,
Yes.
No.
Like-
Scream.
They made Scream
It didn't
funny, too.
turn me. It didn't turn me off from Scream because Scream is special for a lot of other reasons. Where Scary Movie didn't ruin the fear factor for me, but for The Ring, Scary Movie really just like tempered. The Scary Movie 3 really tempered The Ring for me,
Yeah,
where
they
more
just
so than
figured
it
out-
ever did for Scream. And I see Scream on the list, and I'll explain why later on.
all right.
But I would
Okay.
put The Ring.
I can say
You
I
heard
mean,
Scream.
leave
that?
the lights on. I'm gonna give it leave the lights
Oh,
on
okay.
out of
I'll give
respect.
it leave the light on, leave the lights on. I'm not gonna let
Alright.
Scary Movie tarnish it too much for me.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm
fair.
saying.
I
That's not
understand.
fair.
I
Yeah.
understand.
I
All right,
for
this is
myself,
Insidious
Okay.
1.
look, let me
Insidious.
say this.
Wait
Let
a
me
minute
say this.
now.
For
Nah, I
Insidious.
got
myself,
Go
to be
ahead
on
and
this
put that
too.
fucking shit.
let me say it for myself. I'm putting in fuck that shit because
I agree.
I'm sleep deprived because of this movie.
Listen,
It's
because
funny that you say sleep
it
deprived.
definitely gave another spin on sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Two things for me. I had my first night terror the night after I saw this movie. No cap. But second of all, I will say, much like we say The Ring was tarnished by Scary Movie 3, I feel like Insidious was tarnished by The Conjuring. I feel like people liked Insidious a lot more until The Conjuring came out and they started comparing them and they was like, it's good, but it's
And
not
you
as
know, and you know what
no,
helped to that
I
is the fact that the same actors in both too. It's the
Exactly.
fact that the
yeah,
same actors
yeah.
in both.
That
And
just
I
tells you
think
how
that's
great an
why
actor he is.
people I think that's
He-
why people throw shade at Insidious. I really think a lot of that shade comes from The Conjuring.
But also,
I
people think
definitely think
Insidious is part of the universe.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
see it as
people
its
do
own.
forget.
I see it as its own, but I definitely can see how that can end up being that comparison. But Insidious, because if you ain't ever had sleep paralysis or you ain't never sleepwalked or been close spiritually touched as myself, believe me,
Same.
you look at it
So
totally different.
so I'll take this time to celebrate Insidious, and I do. It's a movie that I've always wanted to rewatch, but you can't really find it without paying for some stuff. And I don't feel like paying to watch it again. But
It was on
If you
Netflix,
got
but then they
a fire
yeah,
stick,
they put Insidious 2 up on Netflix just
and
recently,
then they
I
took
think they
down the
took off.
first. Yeah, they had the
Yeah.
first and not the second. And then as soon as they put the second up, they took
And
down
for
the first.
me, I didn't want to watch the first because then I'm gonna want to watch the second, and then the second one wasn't on and easily available, and then they put the second one. I was like, oh, bet, let me go watch the first one. Like, psych, nigga, we took the first one down. I'm like, all right, fuck you. But I will say this about Patrick Wilson, him being both in Insidious and Conjuring, is really dope. He does a great job, but when the demon appears right behind him, that was a
yeah,
dope scene.
buddy.
The red
No,
door, the whole deal with the red door and like the
but
camera work with the red door was dope. But also the soundtrack, the
yes,
music
Cool.
that played at times in Insidious. Hit.
Did
Yes,
you know that
it
the man who sings
hit.
that he really sounds like that? The guy
Yes,
who
he
sings that he
yes,
really
it's
actually
yes.
sounds
scarier.
like that.
It's scarier to see him do it live. It's scary as hell.
And the funny thing is, he's a sweetheart. He was a sweetheart apparently, but it's just like,
Yeah.
man, if people didn't vouch for him, I'd have been like, that motherfucker creepy as hell. You better stay away from me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'll give
another thing
Insidious
that
some
I want
respect.
to share too is because I watched Insidious and Inception within the same week. So the fact you could dream within a dream and it has sleep paralysis on top
that
of it.
must have been
I'm like,
that must have been a fun combo right there. Oh wow!
All you needed to add was getting high. It would have been great.
So what
yeah.
in Insidious, the scene where they go into the father, he's going to rescue his son and he's like chained up and then he's looking at us or whatever.
Mhm.
And then you look, because at first you see he's over here working on his little sewing machine of death. The demon is working on his like sewing machine of death. So you thinking he distracted in all this, and it's like he's looking at us. and then you shoot to the scene and you see it because you can't quite fully make out the demon till you can see all his features like completely like I could do an etch a sketch of him. No, it's like you can see the outline, but you can tell that he is looking. Like you can tell that he is looking at them. He is staring at them. And it's like
I will say,
yeah.
The scene that always did it for me, and it's what I had the night terror of, is the scene where the little boy's laying in the bed, and I think the grandmother is telling about a dream she had, and she was like, it was this large figure standing in the corner, and I asked him like, what did he want, and the thing just points its finger, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
my god.
Oh yeah, I remember that part.
And then also where they,
the connection that Patrick Wilson's character had to the story too, like that was a nice little turn of events, because when can I spoil stuff? I realize we might have spoiled stuff before, but for those who haven't seen Insidious,
be fine.
Yeah, okay.
If you haven't seen Insidious, it's
don't watch a ranking.
True. Yeah, true. Look, for me, Insidious, I liked how originally we thought it was just focused on the little boy. Like, okay, this is another one of those possession stories where a ghost is latching on to the little boy, but knowing that this particular ghost
this is like hereditary.
This John has been following the dad, and he hasn't known it his entire life. I enjoyed that. And
them being in the pictures, the background.
And here's the other thing
at
too.
The end, like the monster that was attached to him as a kid came out with him, and I was been fucking with him the rest of the whole thing.
And here's the other thing too. I don't know if they still will, but there was plans to make Sinister and Insidious part of the same universe, because there were plans to do that, and that would have been so.
Oh yeah, I did.
So
I remember hearing that.
I would have been so excited for that, because that would have been like its own. Again, like you mentioned, Wang, Insidious like gets flack because of The Conjuring and how much, like, when I say how much better The Conjuring one, I don't want to say that Insidious is trash. It's not. It's just that, man, The Conjuring. Patrick Wilson.
Just The Conjuring is too damn good.
Better. Yeah. And so we really got the Insidious, because I do enjoy Sinister, and shout out to JB from Careful for Spoilers Anime Lately, and also shout out to Wang, because they're the ones I know who always spoke highly of Sinister. It would have been really, really exciting to see Sinister and the Insidious movies all in the same universe, seeing some relation. That would have been such a banger, and I think it would have helped Insidious as a whole that much more.
I also wish like at the end, they would have, because at the end they basically had formed the paranormal team or whatever after she had passed or whatever.
Yeah.
And her ghost, and well, she wasn't a ghost just yet, or was she? Yeah. And then you had the girl, she was sitting in the like wheelchair or rocking chair, and then you saw like all these ghosts or demons or whatever surrounding her, waiting for her to leave her body so they could get it. And I wish they would have like did some type of follow up with that, because it's like, I know that had to be creepy and scary as hell to see that. Because it's like you trying to, because basically it's saying that you're astral plane traveling, out of your body, and while you're out, these deceased souls are like, oh, you know what, I want to be back alive, so let me go ahead and grab a hold and get this body, and go ahead and make it do what it do. And it's just like, well, shit, all them times you done been half awake and half asleep and couldn't move. Well, what was that? What was that? Okay, so what's our next one? Night of the Living Dead.
Okay. Nostalgia for me, because zombie movies have gotten better. I mean, it was creepy for the time, and these were your typical, slow zombies. But nowadays, as was mentioned several times by you, Cam, it's the faster zombies that are more creepy. It's like the Resident Evil zombies that would have me more like fucked up. the slow zombies, they're not as frightful anymore, you know. And I'm sorry, Night of the Living Dummy. As a result, I'm gonna, out of respect, I'll say stay in the group for Night of the Living Dead. That's what I would just say.
Either stay in the group or here. I'm cool with either one. Because
I could say that, or leave the lights on if I were going to go up one, because it definitely set a blueprint. It definitely set even like with the originals, like the old like, you know, Night of the Living Dead and so on, that came out like in the 70s or whatnot.
I'll tell you this, I prefer Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead, yeah. Yeah. I just don't know how I would feel if all of a sudden I'm trying to get past the zombies with some damn flashlights and they be like, hey, nah, bitch, we not doing that. We not and they look down at us driving away and learn to use guns. See, that's that shit right there. That's that shit right there that'll have you feeling weird, because it's just something, because you know you can handle like a slow walk and something, but apparently we seem to like the fact if we don't have as much of a chance as we think we do. Right. Apparently that changes our view. Like, and then when you actually get caught, it's like, well, that damn, how did this happen? Well, motherfucker, you wanted this motherfucker to be a track star before they died.
Right.
So what we going with? Y'all said stay in the group or leave the lights on?
No, definitely lower than leave the lights on. I mean, Alpha mentioned you heard that. I
would go stay in the group at best.
Yeah.
Yeah. At most, stay in the group. That's the highest I would ever place it. But if you want to place it, you heard that, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like y'all said, like, you know, since we watched better zombie movies, it still had its nostalgia because it's a zombie movie, and obviously we're seeing like a bunch of better zombie movies where you got zombies who are like track stars and like could like be in the Olympics. So, but yeah, the definitely should just be staying in the group for me.
Okay, I can agree with that if that's what everybody else going with. I can definitely go with that.
Next we have Leprechaun.
All right, yo, look.
I was scared of them. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay, look. Leprechaun is one of those movies where it's like, I don't care whether you hate it or love it. It was just fun and creepy. Like, who would have thought that leprechauns can be creepy as shit? Like, who would have thought? Like, especially since y'all ever seen Luck of the Irish on Disney Channel? That's one of my favorite Disney Channel movies. And then to go back and, watch Leprechaun and be like, damn, okay, so this is what happens when they on crack and do terrible things.
You know what they look like, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm gonna just say Leprechaun. I'm gonna leave the lights on for Leprechaun. Leave the lights on for me. Because that motherfucker
really? You on that?
I'm saying,
yeah. After a while, that just became more so horror comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Wait a minute. Never mind. Because we're rating the individual movie. My bad.
Yeah, because we're about to open up a conversation about child's play. I was about to open up a conversation about child's play, because child's play, you can say after number 2. I mean, I guess after number 3 became a horror comedy, even though they went back to its roots in with Curse and Cult. But the TV show is definitely horror comedy. But it's just, you realize just how good of a franchise, especially since I've recently rewatched all the films and going with the show. I'm like, some horror comedies, they're still really good. And for Leprechaun, it's like, all right, I mean, when that nigga, when he was Leprechaun, what was it? Leprechaun 3, when it was in the hood, Leprechaun in the hood and stuff. Like, yo, that shit was low-key funny. I enjoyed myself. So it's definitely a franchise I don't mind rewatching and knowing that there's going to be parts that's going to like creep me out, but it's a good franchise. So that's why I would say highest is Leave the Lights On. Lowest is You Heard That for me.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I was about to say, so I guess we could go in the middle there, stay in the group. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, stay in a group with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the halfway
Alright.
point.
Next, we have Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm definitely
Which version?
It's the first
one.
one. I
Oh,
just
first one?
rewatched this. I just rewatched this movie like 2 days ago. I think it was good for the time. Personally, Freddy Krueger kind of scares me a little bit. Scares me a little bit less because I'm always like, bitch, I'm in my dream. I can do whatever I want. I'm about to be Dio and pull a steamroller out the sky. But I think it was pretty good. For its time, I think it held up pretty decently.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, it's funny that you say that. Continue, Cam. Continue.
I was just gonna say I give it at least either fuck that shit or leave the lights on.
Yeah, for
But
me,
go what you were gonna say.
yeah, for me, it's funny because Wang's reasoning is why I would actually rate it higher than she would. Because you guys talk about sleep paralysis and whatnot, and that can be terrifying. But for me, it was always like, yo, you're in your dream where it's supposed to be comfortable, you're chill. And the
Freddy
fact
Krueger
that
was
this,
the original Inception before Inception.
yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that this man can manipulate your dream, and when you have nightmares, that's one thing, but some nightmares you can't take control of. And
that's what
when
he
as
was doing to
as Freddy got stronger, it
True.
was very hard to fight him. And it's for me, especially, look, I have nightmares every now and then, and oddly enough, I do enjoy my nightmares because they have a meaning to them. But I can't, I can't control them as much as I try to control I can't control my nightmares, and so I have to give Freddy that respect. But also, and I need to be corrected because I don't know. I know they kind of retcon his origin a little bit. The story of Freddy Krueger.
Okay. In the first movie, his origin story is he was a child, he was an offender. I don't know. I don't think they specifically say he was a pedophile.
No, he was.
But he only captured kids and killed them. So
because basically, because
I'm even going further back to his mom. How he
because his mom was working in a nun, and she was trapped. Yeah, and she got trapped in that asylum. And those men forced themselves on her, and he was born from that.
And it's like, yo, when you talk about starting from the bottom, being born in shitty circumstances, like, bro, Freddy didn't choose to be like this. This is just, I thought that was so unfortunate. I really was like, bro, because you remember his mom keeps coming up as a tool for Nancy to use to combat Freddy. And I was just like, bro, that itself was it made me sympathize for Freddy. I was just like, damn, nigga, like,
I ain't never sympathized with Freddy. No,
me either.
It's just like yo,
never. People go through fucked up shit every day, and they don't become that. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, but like again, his mom, and this is also because of the world, like supernatural aspect plays into it. So I don't put actual logic to it. But like his mom was trapped in the worst ward of the whole asylum. And she was assaulted by everyone in that ward for a whole night. That's terrifying. And he was born from that. So first of all, he was already born with a shitty hand, especially when you realize, like, at least when it comes to mental health, some of that stuff is hereditary. So it was just like, yo. And then at the time, I know it has kind of changed now when it came to, like, there was the 3 signs of, like, what would be a serial killer. It was bedwetting up until a certain age. It was pyromaniac, and then torturing small animals. He was hitting all of that as a young age. It's just like, bro, I mean, like, but again,
that's when the all children get left behind that come into play.
Yeah, that's where that shit come. And then you remember in the movies too, you had all the adults, they knew, and they drugged their kids to forget. They made sure that the next generation didn't remember, and any who did were drugged and basically put comatose.
They should have been drugging Freddy.
Like, that show was crazy. And then even on top of that, how Freddy came about, you just needed one person to think about him. One person, and that's how he came back. He never really left, because as soon as someone just thought of Freddy, that's how that nigga can make his way back. But ultimately,
Netflix
what I
made
say
him
hurts
made
the
him stronger.
franchise for me. Yeah, and what hurts the franchise for me though is one of those things. Is like, you know, it's the same thing that we'll get to when we get to Jason X. Some franchises don't need to keep making movies.
Yep.
Freddy kept
Yep.
doing that, and at that point, it was
Yeah.
just like, all right, bro, like how
We
you
know what
just
you're gonna
getting-
do.
Yeah,
You're
you're
one
trying to
trick
get
pony.
creative as hell with these dream kills,
Mhm.
and it's getting kind of corny.
And that's how he ended up in space.
But for the first one, I have to put it fuck that shit. I can't put it lower than fuck that shit. But I also can't put it higher. I have to put it at least fuck that shit.
Oh, then fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
the gore holds up pretty well too.
it does. Yes, it
Mhm.
does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It
I
holds up
mean,
pretty well.
he's a boogeyman. He looks like it. That boy is one of the OG boogeymen.
Yeah. And then that song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
One-
gonna say one,
Oh
two,
yeah, two Freddy's
for
coming for you.
1,
3,
2,
4,
3,
better
4,
lock
lock
your
your
door.
door.
5,
5,
6.
6.
Grab
I
your
forgot what 5
crucifix.
fix. Yeah. That's
Okay.
and the fact that it was little girls just jump roping, singing that shit. Like, all right,
Yeah.
niggas.
I was like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah. Fuck that shit for me. Fuck that shit for me is where I'll put
Next, we
the
have
first night.
Halloween.
Is that the OG?
Yes, it is the OG.
1978?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, minimum.
I'm
Fuck
leaving
that
it to the
shit.
Yetis.
Fuck that shit.
We'll
Yeah.
go with
I'm
that.
leaving
Yeah.
it to the
That
Yetis.
was
Yeah.
automatic. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that
Okay.
shit. Leave it to the white people.
And here's something that I'll do that low-key may sound contradictory to everything else I said. Halloween would have suffered because of sequels, but because of the 2018 version retconning that, I am also retconning the other sequels. So Halloween as a franchise is still a GOAT franchise. I will ignore Resurrection. I will ignore H2O.
And you gonna ignore the one that just came out?
Look,
Uh-oh.
no.
I can't hear you. Speak up, honey. I can't hear you.
Halloween Kills, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. It was a great slasher.
Something is wrong with you.
I understand what people are saying, but I feel like people lowly rate Halloween Kills because, I mean, you got to remember, Halloween Kills is technically movie number 11. So it's when you see all of it.
It was very much so giving me heavily gore based and B-rate acting.
And you know what? I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But again, I also feel like because it's number 11 and because we've had a retcon, especially technically, we've had 3 different Halloween stories because
I'm not going
Season
with
of the
that.
Witch.
I'm not going with the because you've made so many movies. We'll excuse that they've started.
No. But I'm saying that what I'm saying is that 2018 did a better job of fixing the franchise, and because we've had so much, you have certain. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that you have certain like thought processes when it comes to watching any Halloween movie. Like there's stuff that you automatically know, and you're just like, all right, it's in your head whether you want to or not. And one of those things too is the fact that what I love about Halloween Kills is that it continues the iteration, and I mentioned this in the Careful for Spoilers review that I did with ScubaSteve and JB, is that the other Halloween movies outside of before 2018 made it about Michael was chasing his sibling. He was going after the family. The new Halloween storyline does not do that and focuses solely on
going after his family.
No, but he's not Laurie. No, Laurie is not related to him in this one. She's not. That's the biggest difference, and I'm glad for that. Laurie is not his sister like she was in the other ones, and that's something that they played on because she continues saying like, "Oh, he's coming for me. He's coming for me." No, he is not. He went to you because the other doctor brought him to you. No, his attachment is to that home, and he is, as Laurie said, every time he kills, he transcends. He is no longer human. And we get to that point like, yo, this is evil incarnate. This is not a mortal being. This man does not kill because of like, oh, that's my family member. No, he kills. That's why he just fucked them people up for no reason. As he made his way, he didn't have to kill Little John and Big John. Well, he actually did because they were in his house. But he didn't have to kill that old couple, that white man and that black woman. He didn't have to do that. That's because he's straight evil. And that's why I appreciate Halloween Kills reiterates that. It erases. You just proved my point, Kim. You thought that, oh yes, he's still killing because of related family. No, because again, that is they moved away from that now. They moved away from that. That's why I enjoy Halloween as a franchise, and that's why well, ironically, it doesn't even matter my reason when it comes to the 1978 version because that was the OG. It has to be fuck that shit for me. But I enjoyed Halloween Kills. I did. I would rewatch it again. I enjoyed every fucking murder that the Shape had. I enjoyed the audacity of the townsfolk. I enjoyed the fact that they ended up getting the mob mentality similar to Halloween 4, and they got an innocent man killed. Everything about it was just like, you know what? This is, now will I say, is it scary? No, I won't say Halloween Kills is scary, but I will say it's still an enjoyable movie that I would gladly rewatch any day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, like I said, it was nothing but a gore fest, and he was bullshitting. Take that, Abraham.
Hey,
Next we have the Blair Witch
he was fucking them niggas up.
The Blair Witch Project is a terrible movie. I think it's worse than the Paranormal series. It's trash.
I didn't even know what's a scary movie.
I wouldn't say that, but I'll put it at my mama's scared than you.
I'll
put it at my mama's scared.
I'll slap the shit out. I want it to go in. I'll slap the shit out of you, but also I'll slap the shit out of you for saying that.
I'll put it. Paranormal Activity is still a terrible. Is a worse franchise. It's a worse movie than Blair Witch. I will put Blair Witch minimum.
Nothing happens until the last 10 minutes of the movie, and when it does, it's lackluster.
No, yeah.
I'll put it at my mama's scared.
It's another found footage.
You know, I'm sorry. As far as found footage goes for scary movies, nothing is really better to me than VHS. That's just.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is better than VHS.
Not that many people have seen
don't forget Grave Encounters too.
Good. Oh yeah, Grave Encounters
scared the hell out of me.
But VHS, oh yeah, when at the end of the day, because I enjoyed VHS for what it was, and then thanks to Wang, I watched Grave Encounters recently for the first time. When it comes to found footage, those two are definitely the ideal found footage films.
1 and 2. Grave Encounters is another example of. I think the second is better than the first.
Okay.
We've talked about this, Wang. We talked about it. You know where I stand. Where it's like I don't know if I would put it better, but I enjoyed the elaboration on the storyline and the plot, and it definitely. I can't say it was worse. I would probably just put it even. For me, I'll probably just put it even. But hey, if we want to put Blair Witch Project last, I'm fine with that because I want to get to these last couple of films are actually some ones I definitely want to discuss with y'all because I need your thoughts on some
Freddy
shit.
Versus Jason.
That was horror. Are you talking about Gore Fest, shorty? All right, come on now.
That movie is iconic.
Yo, it is definitely iconic. It is a Gore Fest, not scary at all. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't rewatch it again just because it's like mostly out of pettiness. Because I did want a second Freddy versus Jason. I really did want a second one. I wanted
Freddy
a second
versus
one.
Jason. They were just having a party.
I mean, it was the ideal movie. It was an OG slasher versus another slasher. We always want to see movies like this. We want to see a crossover event happen. And having Freddy versus Jason was just so ideal. But it's not like
they got
like,
it
on
HBO
movie.
Max. They got it on HBO Max and Peacock. I'm watching it.
Yeah. Both of them have most of the Friday the 13th and most of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies on there.
Yeah, HBO Max.
I think you can watch
Hulu too.
Yeah, you can watch all of them between those three services. You can watch the entire franchise between those three services. Netflix, so where do we put it?
Horror, huh?
I would put it. Oh wait, I guess that comes down to are you basing it based off if it's scary or not?
I'm gonna give you heard that.
Yeah, if it's as far as scary movie, no. As far as idea,
I'll accept that.
As far as an idea, great idea, just wasn't executed well and wasn't scary.
Fair.
Yeah, it wasn't scary, like I said.
I mean, I would say it's better than the Blair Witch Project, and it's definitely better than Paranormal Activity 1 by far, and it's better than Ghost Ship. I won't disrespect. It's better than Cloverfield. No, you have to.
It's staying.
No, yo, all right. The three movies in my and I told you I love Ghost Ship. But like, yo, you can't put Freddy versus Jason behind number one
look,
Paranormal Activity
if
and
we'll
behind
stay there
Cloverfield.
until we get to all of it, we go do a recap. At the moment, it's gonna stay there.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Because
All right, what's
eventually it's
next?
gonna still stay there.
Is that the first Hellraiser?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Put that shit in fuck white people. Oh wait, no. Oh, my fault. That's not what that tier is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would
Leave it
say
to the
fuck
white
that
people.
shit.
Yeah, leave it to the
I
white
would-
people. Don't fuck white people. I apologize. I just mixed up myself.
I do not.
Hellraiser is one of my favorite franchises. It's a great story of like BDSM, especially number one, without being like corny, basically without being like a smut film. You feel me? It did a great job.
Great gore factor. Like
Yeah.
top tier gore.
Yeah, and Pinhead really was like, yo, there was a thin line between pleasure and pain, especially when I just love
Like
the whole
literally,
concept
he
of-
was getting people for. He was basically getting people for their sins. People
Yeah.
were being punished for their sins. It was like, I mean,
and it was all related to
okay.
lust in some way. It's like, okay, you think you know what real lust is, right? Let me show you something. And then they was like, hey, how you like that? Is that
greed,
pleasurable?
all of that.
Oh my
Yo.
beer.
Hell,
Right.
Pinhead deserves his flowers. I would put it higher, but I'm fine with fuck that shit. At minimum, I'm fine with fuck that shit.
All right, next we have the OG Exorcist.
Listen, them people on that
Anything with-
damn.
anything
I have
with
not.
Exorcist
I
and
have
all that possession
never
shit,
been
fuck
able
that
to
shit.
finish. I've never been able to finish that, and the fact that the whole crew experienced something on set.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's not like in the Poltergeist where everybody has died, but
not
on
only that,
set,
but moviegoers also were suffering
Yep.
after seeing that. So much so that they banned the movie in certain places. You can't watch this movie in certain countries. Like
Yep.
that
Can't watch
tells
it
you
in
something.
China.
And it deserves
That
its spot
tells you
right
something.
there.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
yeah, I've never been able to finish it. Not
Me
alone.
either.
Those movies,
If I'm gonna be watching with anybody, listen, everybody got to stay up. We all got to stay up.
Exactly.
Or at least let me fall asleep.
We're gonna have a movie night in Discord.
We watching the OG Exorcist movie?
I'll watch.
If I'm able to find it, sure.
I've seen it twice so far. I'm down for a third
Yeah,
time.
it's available. Like
It's
Oh,
in
yeah.
the States. It's available in the States. Yeah, it's available in the States.
I will say I also remember talking to a group of friends. This is going to be a real niche memory. I don't know if anybody remember there used to be this flash game that you could play. Like it was like a prank, and you had to try to.
Oh yeah, where you had to concentrate on doing the.
Yeah, you had to try to get that dot through the maze without touching the walls.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, never.
That was peak internet action when we didn't know what we had.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we had in our hands, and that was what we were doing with it. We were
Yeah.
doing that and Rick rolling people.
Right. Oh,
We were
Rick
doing
roll.
that, Rick rolling people, and looking at cats. That's
Right.
what we
That's
decided.
what I've
They
seen now.
finally got internet stable, and that's what our generation decided to do with it. Like to the next generation, we said, "Here are cats. This is what we have for the internet. We have cats."
Shout out
Next
to
we have
Flash Games.
Candyman.
And
Okay.
Rick Astley.
Is this is the OG?
OG.
Yes.
Okay, so
you know
when I
what?
watched it as a kid, I thought it was creepy. When I got older and I realized as an older black man, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, hold on, sir.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got some bias for the OG Candyman because my first babysitter locked me in the basement and had that movie.
Bro, what?
Bro,
No,
it was a family.
that's
It was a
fucked up.
family friend. She had a boy over. She was doing the nasty upstairs and locked me in the basement, bitch, with this movie on. That movie scared the hell out of me.
Now, because you know what, like
The concept of it.
at the time, it definitely scared it. So I definitely give it a good rating. At least I say at least to stay in the group if we're going by the first movie and what it was at the time. But as I got older, as I watched it, I was like, how can I let this get me? And then I'm still not over the fact that this dude these Yeti people screwed him over, but he decided to fuck over the hood.
I was about to say, if you really want to talk about it, it has parallels with Get Out, which is why Jordan Peele or somebody associated with Jordan Peele remade it. It's like it has that kind of like social commentary. Also, just want to say, if anybody's watching the new one and hasn't seen it yet, oh my God, the tripod phobia in the last 10 minutes is enough for it to be a very scary film for me. But
I have not watched it. I just heard.
If you have tripod phobia, the last 10 minutes is difficult.
And for those who don't know what that means, is the fear of like a grouping of small holes. For those who are watching this or listening to this and don't know what that is.
Yeah, but I really think that Candyman, when you get older, you realize is more of social commentary.
Yeah. And it's a bad one because it's like, not you, like, we had this discussion too, not this nigga terrorizing the black folks in the projects over what white people did to him, low key. Like, come on,
you listen, it's like
you Uncle Tom in it hard right now, man. But I will give Peele this. I do appreciate that he at least connected he expanded the lore, so it's not like a complete retcon. It was like, no, there's still some connection. And just out of respect, I do appreciate that. But the OG Candyman, man, because Tony Todd was, I love Tony Todd. I really do. Tony Todd is great when it comes to playing like these horror vision. I mean, we're going to come across him again in Final Destination, but he was really good. And I appreciate him. I really do. But I don't know if I would, I'll probably put OG Candyman and My Mama Scared in You, just because as an older man, I'm just like, nigga, what? Like, and it's the fact that they centered it around a white woman who was like the hero. I'm like, nah, not you come to the project. I ain't fuck with the white savior thing. I ain't fuck with.
Okay, not to spoil anybody, but they do kind of make that better in the second one. They kind of like are more truthful.
Yeah,
I'm happy with where it's at.
But, it's good with that.
It's respectable. Next, we have Jason X.
Okay, this is why I was upset. I was like, how you gonna respect my homie? But then I saw later down we have another Jason movie, so I'm okay. Jason X is honestly My Mama Is Scared in You at best, because like, who the hell decided to one day wake up, hit the crack pipe, and decide like, let's put this nigga in space and give him nanotechnology? At that point, it's no longer a horror film. It is just a gory action.
It's a really bad. It's a gory sci-fi.
Yeah, a gory stuff. I'm like, nigga, first of all, you really gave this nigga again, like I mentioned before, some movies they didn't need to continue going. Jason X is a movie that should have never been made, but they should have stopped making Friday the 13th movies a while ago before that. Honestly, it should have never came up to Jason X. Jason X cannot go above My Mama Scared in You. It cannot. If you guys want to put it, slap the shit out of you, okay, but it cannot go higher than My Mama Scared.
I think Jason X was just because. I really feel like it was
at this point. They was like a couple people might go watch it. We might make like that.
Yeah,
it's like we already made like 20,000 Jason films. Let's take them to space. And I'm like, we don't really need to go to space. That was unnecessary.
Wait, didn't he survive the fall from the space to Earth in the source at the end? Yep. Okay. Yeah.
because the lore of Jason got so like they really expanded it and thought that they were making it better, but the fact that at this point they were like, oh, Jason can just come back and his descendants, and he's just a demon, and it's like, all right, you're really fucking up the lore for me. You're really, really dumbing down Jason for me, and it's no longer becoming creepy.
It was definitely a just because movie. Mm-hmm. Like it was like where they basically said fuck all and this is what it is. I don't even think that was one that movie was just to be taken serious like at all. Like it was just happening to be happening. So,
I just think they were just sitting in a room and they were like smoking crack or pipe on something, and then they were like, hey guys, how about I put Jason in space and he kills astronauts? Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it.
But the worst part was giving him nanotechnology. Like,
you know what they was on? I'm gonna tell you exactly what they was on when they made Jason X. Adderall.
Adderall, exactly. Adderall, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
They gave him nanotech. First of all, you couldn't stab him because he had he already had a great healing factor, but now he had instant regeneration. You saw what happened to his knife. It became like this nice glass, like really sharp, like indestructible knife. His mask became hardcore. This man could like breathe in outer space. It's like, come on, dog. Like, all right, at this point, you're just making him like God, and this is not scary. This is just.
It's like the issue that people have with Superman is no fun.
Well, no, I don't have that issue with Superman. No, so don't make that comparison. No,
I didn't ask you. I do.
Let's move away from that. No. Because
Superman
Superman has great villains that Darkseid. The son of Darkseid. Come on, you're not going to destroy Superman. But okay, we can leave Jason X right there for sure. What's the next film?
Next one is Child's Play. The first one.
Put that shit. Fuck white people, baby. Chucky the hey, that nigga Charles Lee Ray, baby. Give Chucky, give Chucky his flowers. And as a franchise, it's solid. This TV series,
this
movie,
great. That one right there, I definitely say we giving it for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yep.
Love Child's Play. Final Destination, yo. Okay.
Which one is it?
The first one, the very first one.
Fuck that shit.
Go ahead and put that in. At least either the lowest I would say is fuck that shit, and the highest you have to give it to leave it to the Yeti people, because this movie is still fucking with folks till today.
Yep.
Yes. Every time you're so paranoid.
You get on an escalator.
I'm gonna tell you this. I have
escalator stuck in the elevator. On the highway behind a truck bed with logs or steel pipes.
I have part 2 in here just because people is more paranoid by driving behind any trucks with logs and anything like that. So
listen, I'm telling you, these movies have folks fucked up.
White people.
And you gotta also remember this too. Dog, it didn't matter what you did. You couldn't stop death. You thought you did. No, he would skip over and bring his ass back.
Exactly. And then even if you take out the supernatural, even if you take out the supernatural aspect of it, these are still freak accidents that do happen to people every day.
Exactly, dog.
Yep.
Like every day. And it's like y'all decide to bring this to the big screen. Bro, this movie is gonna fuck with people for forever. And then if it keeps getting introduced to the next generation, get the first ones. Don't too much of these new ones.
But
I will say
the TV show 1,000 Ways to Die. They got rid of it. They got rid of it because of Final Destination. When they kept going with it, it was like, nah, we can't have this show.
It went the rewinds and stuff. It went for a while. It went for a while before they finally stopped.
I will say this: the Final Destination franchise. When you watch all of them, I do like the overall story and how they connect. But it is a movie basically just of freak accidents that like you mentioned, like everyone has mentioned, the fact that they're just stuff that you can't avoid. Like, yo,
we forgot homeboy got locked in the tanning bed too.
First of all, like I said,
that led to the first movie. It's fire. It's fire.
Yeah. Exactly. The last movie when it connect, I was like, bro. I was like, you know what? Because I one of the roller coaster one.
I applauded when they
I skipped the roller coaster one, which I think is 3 or 4. But when I watched 5, I was like, oh shit, this comes back to number 1. So I have to do a rewatch of all of the down gonna do before
I'm down for that.
Yeah, because
for a rewatch.
It's just like, how do you combat that? How do you stop that, nigga? You get stuck in the elevator. Of course, you want to get out. We saw it in Resident Evil 2. It's out of your control if the elevator decides to go on and bam, beheaded. You remember in the second one, the little boy just run into the pigeons and then the glass pane just falls. Yo, I mean, yes, he's stupid for doing that, but like, who expects that to happen? Yo, like, you can't do. You remember in the first one when All Boy fell off the fire escape, and it's like, oh damn, you dodged. He dodged several bullets in that scene. He should have died in the house because of the microwave. He should have died just falling on all the glass and getting concussed like that. But then for the thing to drop before him, and it's like, okay, you're good. And then it's like, psych, nigga, man, yo. I honestly think we gotta put it up higher. Just man, that's
They
Final
both
Destination.
deserve top tier.
Yeah.
ranks.
Yeah, it's just like fuck, yo.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the other two for now and put this up there because you already know.
Yeah, it's just it's
Yeah.
what can you argue against it? That's what I want to know. For anybody who disagrees, I would really normally I tell you I could give a shit about your opinion. Y'all can suck my dick. Like I normally say that, but I
Oh my
genuinely do
God.
want to know your opinions for if you disagree with Final Destination, why? I really want to know why.
That's a question for Twitter.
Twitter.
Mhm.
All right,
Go
next we
ahead.
have OG Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Fuck that shit.
I'm
Fuck
gonna
that shit.
definitely.
Yeah, it's
Or
rated
leave the light
Yeah,
on.
fuck that shit.
Yeah, I was thinking leave the lights on, but fuck that shit. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and you know, I say this every time I talk about the OG. If someone asks you, and this is because, hey, when we get to Scream, which is Scream next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, this is perfect because when you watch Scream, remember how Scream starts with Drew Barrymore, and he's like, all right, you know, bonus time. Who is the antagonist of Friday the 13th? And Drew Barrymore's character is like, it was Jason. I told you. He's like, psych. No, he didn't say psych. He was like, nope, wrong answer. It was actually his mom. I thought you were a horror fan. It's like, yo, people who understand Friday the 13th, it wasn't Jason at all. It was his mom. And the fact that you didn't know that until the end, especially if you didn't watch it in the beginning, for those who come into the franchise later and you're familiar with like, oh, Jason, you come and thinking it's Jason. I enjoyed that plot twist before they passed on the mantle. His mom doing what she did made complete sense. Not saying that I support it. Of course not. Like she was crazy. But like, hey, y'all camp counselors, first of all, y'all camp counselors was busy getting horny and allowed a kid, a special needs kid, or a kid with mental illness, to drown. Y'all deserved every and all things coming to you. That's your goddamn fault. Mama was defending her baby's honor, and I was cool with that. So Friday 13th, fuck that shit. And Scream. Oh, I love Scream. Scream is minimum. Fuck that shit. Minimum.
Yeah. Well, Scream.
That's scary
Do I have
for me.
Oh my man.
You
Matthew.
don't have to convince me to move
It's not even scary. What makes
leave the lights on?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What makes Scream so dope is this. Okay, Scream is a slasher that relied on the previous slashers like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and all that. But Scream was so dope because it was the first of its kind to point out the common horror tropes and not be campy and corny. Especially with the first three. Number 4 was like not my favorite by far. I'm not saying that number 3 was the best one. Number 1 is still the best one. Number 2 was good. Number 3 was decent. Number 4 was I could do without, but it's still canon. And the trailer for the new one has me excited again. But Scream was just so exciting because it's like, all right, Cindy is like, oh, what you're gonna say like, oh, you're here, like you're in my closet, whatnot, shit like that. Pointing that out and still executing it so well in terms of, nigga, you thought I was there because that's what the rules dictate, but I'm gonna flip the script on you. I love that. I absolutely love that because another movie that does something similar but is not as good in terms of slasher horrors, but is good in terms of enjoyable movie is Cabin in the Woods. Because Cabin in the Woods does the same thing, and that is a fun movie. But Scream did it first, and it wasn't corny, so. Minimum fuck that shit for me. Minimum fuck that shit for me. However, Scream doesn't do well without the OG slashers.
Okay.
For me, as far as Scream, granted, the character.
So I'm gonna put it in. I'm putting it in stay in the group, but I mean,
I
dropping it lower.
I said leave the lights on.
I was not. It just Scream was never one that caught on for me. I mean, it was popular at the time when it came out, but it was never one. It didn't do it for me.
When was the last time you watched it?
I didn't. I didn't like it. So
Oh,
Yes,
man.
same here.
I've been
I
rewatching it. Oh, I enjoy it so much. It's Scream is so good.
that's because you
Oh,
got some things to unpack with your
what you
unnecessary violence.
mean? What? How we make this about
You
me? How
handle
we do
that.
that? How we do, you know what? What's
Mm.
the next film? Is
Next
that the
we
first
have
Saw?
Saw. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the first Saw is iconic.
Mhm.
Psychological, one of the best psychological.
I say leave it to the Yetis
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna do that.
they can have it.
Bro, the plot twist. Every time someone talks about Saw, you gotta mention the plot twist. And then when you look at it, because hey, word to Wang Sabi Bob and Cam, I remember you mentioned this pre-show. For me, I fell off Saw after number 2 because I felt like it just became a gore fest until I went back and started rewatching from the beginning. Number 1, I always enjoyed number 1 by far. But then up until about 4, because it was still under main
That's the
Jigsaw.
same thing I said. After 4, it gets weird.
It gets weird, but up until 4,
Yeah, I
bro,
stopped after 4.
Saw was a film that was just like, dog, listen to what is being told, because you didn't have to endure all this shit in the first place just by listening. And then 2, what a great way to punish people who were narcissistic, who were abusive, who were greedy. Like, it's like, yo, here's your chance to like atone and to just repent and you good. But nah, you stay true to your nature. And it's like, man, I mean, it's fucked up, yes, to punish people in this way, but yo, James Wan, bro. Saw is oh my gosh, Saw is fire shit.
Saw's iconic.
Fire shit.
Next we have The Sixth Sense.
Iconic
It's
as
not
well.
scary.
Yes.
It's iconic, but it's not scary, you know? Like, this is one of those
You
movies
know what?
where
No. When I
Well,
first saw it, it definitely, that movie right there, first seeing it, it definitely, scared me. But over time, if you kind of, I guess, watch it as an adult or actually kind of catch what's going on, it's really not scary in the way it was first presented.
Yeah.
Like,
especially
if
when
you
you know the
actually
plot twist.
watch it.
Yeah, when you know the
Yeah.
plot twist, it really demystifies you on a rewatch. You know, like if anybody's watching it for the first time, yes, I encourage you to watch it. And it's the reason why to this day, even though The Sixth Sense is an old film, I don't spoil it for anybody, just in case, because I know I've come across people who haven't seen it. I don't spoil it, but on a rewatch, it doesn't hold for me. It really doesn't. It doesn't. So I would say leave the lights on.
I was
For
gonna
me.
say the same thing.
Yeah, leave the lights on. For me.
Like, it's very iconic as far as the movie, but
Mhm.
sense of actual being scared of it.
Yeah,
It wasn't
no,
that
it just
scary.
missed.
Like, it just had
Yeah.
more of the quotables in the movie than being scary.
Like, honestly, the Sixth Sense is a definition of having the impact of a one-hit wonder. Like, when it first came out, bam, it hits you right there. But then, are you really gonna revisit it? Is it really gonna carry over for you? But out of respect, because on initial watch it was good, I'll put it. I'm content with Leave the Lights On for sure.
Okay, so with that being the last one, real quick, and leave that shit to the Yeti people. Do we want to move anything? Do we think anything gets better? Then where do we want to move? What do we want to move?
For me, I would put number 1, Saw, number 2, Conjuring, number 3, It, number 4, Final Destination, number 5, Child's Play. No, I keep forgetting The Exorcist.
Put the Exorcist on
I'm
4.
sorry, I'll put Exorcist 1.
1. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the same.
It opened it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conjuring
I'll
2.
put Final Destination
That's 2.
2 because it's
I don't know how I
psychology.
feel about that.
No, let me explain. Because Final Destination psychology messes with you in real life. It makes you you can't avoid death. That's
Okay, so I guess I can see them being in place because Exorcist and Final Destination done had real life effects, I guess.
But I'll say that, but the same reason why we have
What's that,
low
Wang?
key. Yeah,
I
what
said
were
I
you saying,
don't
Wang?
think
I'm
it's a better. I said I don't think it's a better movie than The Conjuring, though, and I
sorry.
don't.
I
think
agree.
Oh no, definitely
Okay.
not.
But here's
Fair
the
enough.
thing. Here's the thing, Alpha. Because you mentioned like, yo, because of the real life consequences. Yes, you heard me. We all mentioned that for sure. But someone like me, when it comes to paranormal and supernatural, such as exorcism and conjuring, I believe in that just as much as I believe in freak accidents happening. And The Conjuring was very well told, and it's just an overall better story because at the end of the day, Final Destination is just a series of unfortunate events, low key. You know, that's what it is. But story wise, like, there's not
Okay.
really any story. You know.
Is this you can't avoid death? That's the story.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's just like, dog. It's just part of life. You know, it's just the circle of life. But I also would put Tim Curry's performance as Pennywise above Final
I'll say,
Destination 2.
I want to say fuck you only because it's it. Because I'm not I'm a fan of it, but I'm not a fan of it.
I'll
If
feel
you
you.
get- if you
I'll
catch
feel
my
you. Yeah. I'll feel you.
Like, for me, I don't know if I agree with it, but I'm not going to say hell no.
I'm a fan of it, but I'm not a fan. I say this: it should be top 5,
Yes.
but I
What it?
put
Yeah.
Jaws in front of it.
We'll probably move it again, but Saw has. I have to put Saw
Oh, I
top
think Saw
5.
has to be top 5.
Yeah,
Saw
and I
has
will
to be
put
top
Saw
five.
in
Top
front of
3.
it. I will put Saw in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would have the original It in front of Saw.
Saw
This
I
is
mean,
the-
it can still go into the top 5, but I would definitely have
So
it.
Saw
if-
is
if-
hard. I feel like Saw kind of has the bias for me only because it's so hard to not think about what comes after this. Like it's so hard to not think about the follow up and the rest of the Saw series.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
It is a great psychological horror
it's
film.
really hard. But if you go in just individual movies, I either way, I'm not upset. Third, fourth is a toss up for me. I'm gonna be honest.
Personally, for me, I would put Child's Play in front of Final Destination. Personally, for me, I know not everybody feels strong about Child's Play, but I'll put Child's Play top 5.
Honestly, I'll put The Grudge after it.
I could be okay with that, but
I'm
really
okay
kinda
with
feel
Final
like-
Destination not being top 5. I am.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all right. We don't need to Final Destination.
I think
prefer
Annabelle should go
Child's
to the
Play.
back of the list. I think
Yeah.
Annabelle should
Yeah.
go to the back.
Child's Play
Yeah.
is definitely better than Annabelle. Don't play me like
And so
don't
is
play me like that.
and so is what is
I'll go like that. That should be fine.
Okay, Final
Yeah, I'm alright
Destination
with
1, 2 in front of Annabelle. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool.
okay, and
Alright.
we damn near
Is it-
loaded up. Fuck that shit. So what
Yo,
we got?
Anything and fuck that shit want to go up is the question.
Fuck that shit for me. Exorcism of Emily Rose, 28 Days Later, and 1978 Halloween have to be top 3. Honestly.
I think Freddy Krueger got. I think Nightmare on Elm Street
think-
top 5.
I definitely
agree
can
with that.
agree with Emily Rose and 28 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we all.
I would say Insidious
Yes, and
would
Insidious
move
for
up,
sure.
Yep.
Poltergeist
and
out of there for sure. Poltergeist can probably go in the back. Poltergeist.
yeah, Poltergeist can definitely go back. And we can definitely bring Halloween
Halloween.
I
up.
put Sinister right before Poltergeist.
Okay.
I want it higher than that.
Yeah.
I want it in front of
Ooh,
Hellraiser.
but-
If I'm being honest with you.
Ooh, that's tough for me.
But Hellraiser doesn't need. I don't feel like it should go down. Because we put so many movies into this category.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I still think Halloween is top 5
down
though.
as well. Jeepers
Yeah.
Creepers needs to move down.
Yeah,
'cause
it can just
Sure.
go down.
Jeepers-
Leave the lights
Ha-
on. Or,
No way it's top 5. I'm sorry.
Halloween gotta be top 5. As long as Halloween's top 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Right now, Halloween's top
Well-
5. I'm content with everything else.
I was gonna say, okay, do we like Halloween better or Nightmare on Elm Street?
Halloween.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm going Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, it
It's crazy
still
how
got
we
it.
got the
Halloween
trio
is top
right
Hey,
now.
yo,
5.
this is
Okay.
at this point. This is the OGs. Wes Craven versus John Carpenter. Yo, like he's our
Yeah.
OGs
I'm
right
cool
here.
with the OGs in the order they're in. I'm cool with
Yeah,
them.
I'm cool.
It's
Yeah.
I'm cool with
crazy
that.
how
4,
Child's
5,
Play
Actually-
is the only one that's above them all. and his childhood saw the OG.
And you know what? Because of that, oh gosh, I feel
I'm okay
because
I'm
Wait till you
okay.
get to the actual villain tier list.
We're not talking about you have to remember, we're not talking about the franchise. We're talking about
we're talking about
individual movie.
I did have a strong fear of dolls because it was Chucky. I watched Chucky, and then I didn't watch it, of course, when it first came out. But in the same day,
you're gonna have to stick around for our villain tier.
Okay, because
we're going to do like the characters, like the
villain.
actual like individual characters, and we're
like
going to be
Jigsaw,
rating them.
Pennywise,
yeah, Child's Play,
Chucky.
and I watched Child's Play and Night of the Living Dummy, the Goosebump story episode at the same time, and Chucky and Slappy really actually. I had an actual. I was a kid. I had a very strong fear. I was 7. I had a very strong fear. I had a very strong fear of dolls up until Bride of Chucky. Ironically enough, that's when my fear of dolls disappeared because I was like, I still love Bride of Chucky. I mean, Jennifer Tilly. I follow her on Twitter. You know what? Thank you for Bride of Chucky, and thank you for what you brought to the Chucky franchise. Definitely. But otherwise, I'm content with fuck that shit. Everything else, as it is, I'm content with, especially Jeepers Creepers in front of Hellraiser. I'm cool with that. Poltergeist, I'm gonna have to rewatch the film. Honestly,
I'm due for a rewatch too.
Yeah,
I have to rewatch most of this.
So anything and leave the lights on. Want to go up? Stay where it's at.
Nah,
I'd rather move up Scream.
Categories are solid.
I'll move Scream up. That's my only thing.
I
love Scream,
and
me personally, Scream would have been in the higher tiers. So if it's gonna be in Leave the Lights On, for myself it would have been in the higher tier. But if we're gonna leave it and Leave the Lights On, I would like it higher.
I think we can all agree. We can all agree that The Sixth Sense can stay in the back. I think.
It can stay. I think if anything. I think if anything, I can see Silent Hill, Scream, and The Ring, being in the top. Because
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And then kind of everything else.
I'm not gonna argue for Dead Silence being number 3, but it goes because of my reasoning for why, and it's unfortunate. It's not fair, but it's like every time I think of The Ring, and even when I rewatch it, Scary Movie 3 really just erased they erased any aspect of me being like, oh, I can't take Scary Movie 3 out of my head. My top 3 would be Scream.
Have you rewatched
I have. Yeah, and it's scary. Damn. It's because you always remember Scary Movie 3.
I just remember Scary Movie 3.
They disrespected the shit out of Samara. They really took out any fear factor.
I literally always think of the scene where she's in the pool. She's like, your faith and love in me has restored my well-being. And they're like, really? She's like, nah, I'm just fucking with you.
Right.
So my top 3 and Leave the Lights On will be Scream, Silent Hill, Dead Silence. But I also understand why people may
I
Dead
agree
Silence
with the
for
Ring
those.
being where it is, though.
Yeah. But I agree with people's opinions on Silent Hill when you play the OG video games.
I just feel like if they went to the actual origin, like the actual story with the father looking for his daughter,
yeah,
I would have felt like it'd probably be in leaving the shit to the white people. That's how if they did that storyline.
The game was so much scarier.
I played the game at the age of 8. My pops forced me to play it. He bought it for himself and had me play it for him.
Oh wow!
The lights off.
I'm telling how old you are.
I only played it because my friend had my friends were like, "This is a cool game to try playing." Okay. Kids,
So yeah. So Leave the Lights On should be fine where it's at. Next,
so stay in this group. Stay in the group.
I mean,
the cannibal.
Yeah, it's crazy that we put all the OG cannibal movies and stay in the groups. I feel like someone's definitely gonna have a problem with that. That's hilarious.
I kind of want to move the Leprechaun into the top 3. Not gonna hold you.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see it better than Psycho.
Yeah, I don't think Psycho's leading the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I low key. Damn.
In a
Yeah, I'll
sense,
put
like
it after that.
it didn't age well.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, the other versions of the Psycho story just hit better, like American Psycho. The one with Christian Bale was wild. Nah. Yeah, that one was wild. I like that better. Bates Motel is a solid show. We had so many different versions of the story that it's like the OG like doesn't hold as much for me anymore.
I think the wrong term should be Before Hills Have Eyes, just because
I will definitely wrong turn.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
They were smarter,
and they had a better plot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard
Candyman. All I ask is that we put respect on Candyman.
Okay.
I'll take top two. I'll take
okay.
But as long as it ain't in the back, don't play.
I'll put 13 Ghosts back in front for me because I will rewatch 13 Ghosts in a heartbeat. I won't.
And
I'm just saying.
And I would say Get Out before A Quiet Place. Get Out before A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't enjoy A Quiet Place at all.
I'm gonna say this.
We can't say Ryan Reynolds' acting was better than oh my god.
Yeah.
Low key, all right.
I'm okay with how this list's falling.
But I do have a question. So with the OG Candyman and Get Out, they are both social commentary films. Which one was the better one?
Wait, you're saying
I'm gonna say Get Out.
Get Out is a better one.
Get Out. Candyman and Get Out.
Get Out, because Candyman don't make sense the first time you watch it. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah.
So then, as a result, we have to put Get Out. Yeah, we have to put Get Out in front of Candyman.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
The fact that he attacked black people because white people did it wrong makes no sense.
Bro, you haunting the projects, my nigga. Come on.
You know the projects don't necessarily just have a lot of anything, and you gonna come in and you fucking shit up like that. And like I said on a previous episode, the Candyman is in part based on truth. Like there was an actual woman who was saying that there was someone in her bathroom mirror. She was hearing something. She called the police. Police didn't believe her because, she was in a predominantly urban and black area. And, eventually when the police finally decided to come check on her, they had found her dead. Because there was actually a room in between the walls, and these robbers had robbed another apartment and were escaping through her bathroom mirror, and they killed her in their escape. And so then there's just kind of like this, and then there was actual person called the Candyman, and it was just this whole thing. And it's another one where it kind of half truths and it kind of just took liberties and credit. So it is in part based on true things, but at the same time, it's still fucked up that he ain't fucking up the white people. The Yetis. Yeah. The uncolored candles.
That was one of the other issues with Candyman is they tried to work in too many elements. Like, okay, it's the guy with the hook killing people, but also there are bumblebees and he gives people candy, and it's like it was a lot. It was a lot of things that didn't necessarily mesh well.
Yeah, it was just weird watching it.
Like, I could never really understand what is the correlation of Candyman and bees. They have never really it's like okay.
Never explained.
Well, because apparently in the movie, when they hung him or whatever, or was torturing him, they had him tied to the tree and they covered him with honey. And apparently,
the tree had a beehive.
And that. But I was like, that still don't make sense because that's not gonna make bees just attack you like that. They're gonna be like, where y'all get all this honey from?
I'm so sorry, but breaking news at the time of this recording. I'm scrolling Twitter and I just saw something that's just unfortunate, especially since we're talking about horror and whatnot, just like scary events. Alec Baldwin accidentally killed someone on the set of his new film Rust because a prop gun he was using a prop gun and it killed one person and injured another. And that's just we talk about freak accidents. Crow. Yeah, The Crow, with Brandon Lee. Like, yo, that is why. Like, because there's no one really to. I mean, I don't know who you would blame. I guess whoever didn't check the prop gun, but
yeah, whoever
but
gave
it's
him the
just
gun,
like, damn.
whoever gave the gun didn't even check if the gun was like a actual prop or like or was actually.
The weight should be different. Like I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weight is different.
Yeah, so the
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
cinematographer,
done on purpose.
the cinematographer is unfortunately has passed away, and then the director is currently in emergency care. This just happened right like an hour ago, and it's just wild because we talk about freak accidents when it came to Final Destination, how like stuff like that can happen. Of course, I don't remember in the franchise ever being one like this, but like you mentioned, this happened with The Crow. Just it's unfortunate. It's just damn. Like, wow, that's I know he must be feeling he gotta be feeling some, oh gosh, that sucks. As of right now, no charges are being filed, but of course that'll probably change later. You know, there'll probably be a wrongful death lawsuit coming and whatnot, but that is wow. That is wow.
That's wow.
That's a wow. Yeah.
Oh fuck. She was 42 years old. Oh my goodness.
Whew.
I don't mean to down it, but I'm just scrolling Twitter and I saw that and I'm just like, yo, what the hell? Wow.
Next we have
Mama's scared at you.
There's not much.
I mean, there's not much.
At that point, we ranking trash. Like, the only thing I want to say is that Paranormal Activity 1 should be pushed down. That's all I gotta say.
I was gonna say, I think Ghost Ship belongs behind Paranormal Activity 1.
Yeah, they could just put it behind.
Yeah.
I'm content with that.
Cloverfield might be by itself.
I mean, low-key, Cloverfield should be lower too. That should actually be nothing getting my mama scared of you. I would be content with all three being pushed down lower, to be honest with you. To be truthfully honest.
Shut up, Abe.
Like, Paranormal Activity is just not good. And the fact they kept making it, at least with Ghost Ship, they just,
I put it in front of
I wish they would just stop making you.
Oh, they did. I'm the only one. I'm one of one, shorty. Like, they didn't.
Yeah, let's not let this happen again.
No, we're gonna have my legacy. Oh yeah, I'm hoping to
No. You make it up, Abraham.
I need mini-me's. I need
God
bless the soul.
That's gonna be a loud household.
The world needs a mini-me.
Girl, God bless the soul.
Not your mini-me.
That's gonna be a scary movie for the books.
Look. And she needs, and it needs to be. I need to have a daughter. I want a daughter who takes after me. That's what I want.
She's gonna be just as loud. So last we got I'll slap the shit out of you. I'm good on everything.
Blair Witch Project. This is so hard. Blair Witch Project needs to be in the bottom 3. That's what I know.
I will put Jason X in front of Paranormal Activity.
Well, Paranormal Activity 2 needs to be in the top, then in the down 3.
In the bottom 3.
Bottom 3.
I think we can put. We can put a little bit of respect on I Know What You Did Last Summer. And the first movie wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Paranormal Activity is number 1, I'll accept anything.
Okay, you know what? It's staying just like this.
I'm fine with that.
Because Jason X is an ass movie. If you just want to watch gore, I get it. But that movie was
still better than Paranormal Activity. Better than that whole franchise.
Next.
That's the hill. I'm glad he died.
No, the way he has it, we have it as the worst thing on the list. It's the worst thing on the list right now.
Look, the fact that they brought his ass to space deserves to be in trash.
Like Wang said, that motherfucker, that whole writing room was on Adderall. Like she said,
they were on Adderall, bro. It's literally
Adderall
like
can do some shit to you, man.
It's literally like that episode of BoJack Horseman where they get high on like different stimulants like Adderall and they write that hip hop rock opera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no.
So with that is basically we done did our horror movie individual film tier list, and that's what we got. I mean, if you guys disagree, you can always, hit us up in the comments and on Twitter or whatnot, interact with us. Definitely let us know what you thought of it. And
actually,
also,
no, I
before
only care about your opinions regarding any disagreements with Final Destination. That's the only
oh
ones
my
I care for.
gosh.
Someone's going to defend
This right
Paranormal
here.
Activity 1. Say that. Why is
So-
it? Why is Paranormal
Oh
Activity
yeah,
1
definitely.
better?
Yeah, people. There are. I
Someone.
will say this: Paranormal Activity has a very loyal and like big fan base, unfortunately. But that John ain't. It ain't as good as people thought. Like, come on now.
You ain't as good. You ain't as good.
When you
So
look at all the
either
supernatural
way-
movies, come on now.
Okay, and before we get out of here and everybody does their intros and drop their bit of information, with Wang being a guest, I also asked her if she could give us some recommendations for some horror mangas. So, she tends to know a little bit more about that than anybody thus far that we've had on the pod. So, Wang, go ahead, and if you got them ready.
Stun on
Go
them.
ahead
Stun on them.
and
I went with 5 that I think I recommend frequently, but I still see nobody reading. I thought they were low key enough. Number 1 is Tomodachi Game. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna keep talking about it. It's a good mix of like basically it's a friend game setting, and essentially we need to beat this game, but along the way you're gonna have to betray friends. It's also one of those things that it's one of those manga that it starts about something completely like the story changes very quickly. It's really fast paced. It's my first recommendation for a reason. It's not necessarily horror, but it's definitely eerie, scary, and there's some gore element. Fort of Apocalypse, however, is literally zombie apocalypse. Every living thing is a zombie. At one point in time, there's a giant mutant baby. Think dog zombies. Like it gives me very I Am Legend, but a manga. It's really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I can vouch for
Is
that.
that
She put
completed?
me on. Yes, it's 46
yes, Fort of
chapters.
Apocalypse is completed. Tomodachi Game is wrapping up. It's not quite done yet, but it's definitely in the last arc. And it's a monthly. Kangoku Jikin is kind of similar to Tomodachi Game, except literally think a contest. You get to take the person you hate the most and lock them in a room and torture them. They have to try to guess who is doing this torture. If you can torture them for a week straight without them guessing your name and without you killing them, you get $1 million.
What kind of psychotic game is that?
Yes, and it shows like how demented the human psyche could get. It's like what people do. That one is not finished, but again, very close. Hideout is completed. It's very short. You can read it in a day, probably in like an hour, honestly. It's about this husband who takes his wife on vacation with the full intent of killing her. But she finds out, she runs into this cave and he follows behind her, and they realize they are not the only people in this cave.
And is this is a manga? Is this a
it's a manga. It's probably I would be surprised if it's like 20 chapters. It's very, very short, but it's one of those it's one of those mangas that's like I wish I could read it again for the first time. It hits. And my last recommendation is Pumpkin Night. Typical, like think real Carrie-esque. Like we tortured and tormented this girl and she came back and she's like killing people. If you've ever seen around Halloween, there's always this panel, 2 really iconic panels. There's this fat guy hung up by his neck and his stomach is slit to where his intestines are falling out. And there's another where it's this girl with a hook through her boobs. Crazy mind. It's literally like this middle school girl running around with a pumpkin on her head, killing all of her classmates who fucked with her. And like you get her backstory and exactly what they did to her. And it's one of those things where you're rooting for the bad guy. You're like, girl, you're doing great. Amazing.
Do your thing. Is this one completed or no?
No. Pumpkin Night is also not completed. It's not done yet. It drops. The only thing about Pumpkin Night, it drops very randomly, but like it'll be like you don't get a drop, and then they'll drop like 12 chapters, and you'll be like, what is happening here? But it's an enjoyable run, and it's got a good amount of chapters that you could like binge all at once.
Honestly,
okay, well,
ladies and gentlemen,
definitely
I
like
will
shoot
say
that
this.
list. Shoot that list over. That way we can add that to the description because I definitely want to check some of those out.
Yeah, I want to
Especially
check
that
that out.
hideout.
Big. I will say this, like
Alright,
Tomodachi game, like she mentioned, she put me onto Tomodachi game. She put me onto Fort of Apocalypse. Fort of Apocalypse was a great read.
Yeah, I want to check that one out
really
too.
I already
quick.
got a bookmark on my phone.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
we had a It Mob page way back when. I think when did you put me on? Earlier in this year, Wang, you put me onto that joint. I
I
posted
know
some
she. I
panels.
know she has
There's some
consistently mentioned that one.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
that.
and then Pumpkin Night she has also mentioned. I mean, all this list I've heard from her before, and they are on my list. Yo, when it comes to horror and manga and in anime, Wang Sabi Bop is your girl. Like she knows what she talking about. She don't be recommending whack shit. It's always gas when it comes to horror. When it comes to josei, like that is who you want to talk to.
Yeah, my two opposite
Yeah,
dynamics.
and that's why I was I made sure to reach out to her so she could be on this episode because I know like she tends to know horror in general. So I was like, come on, girl, come on through
Absolutely.
and be with this. But yeah, thank you for those recommendations. We'll definitely make sure to pin those and put those in the description for anybody who is wanting to find something new to read to get into. And I hope you all have enjoyed this for sticking around with us doing this tier. And like I said, hey, any disagreements or agreements, go ahead and shout at us and let us know like what you thinking, how you feeling about it. And before we go ahead and everybody go ahead. You can drop your socials, any last words or anything. And I'm KamKickz, also known as the Pie Mother, and this has been another episode of Inside the Mind of a Blerd, the special tier list. So everybody else, we'll go ahead and start with Alpha.
First.
Go ahead and lead us out.
I was gonna say guess first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll guess.
It's been cool to kick it with y'all. Had a lot of fun. It was an interesting debate. Again, I'm Wang Sabi Bop. You can find me on Instagram. If you want to see me do shenanigans, it's Twitter. But more anime-related content, horror, josei, cosplay, crochet, Instagram. Wang Sabi Bop.
Oh yeah. Also, are your commissions open?
I'm thinking about opening them. I'm actually working on a drop, so I'm making a bunch of bags right now, and I'm probably going to drop them all end of this year, beginning of next. That's what I'm working on now.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll definitely be looking out there. You know, we definitely gonna promote you.
Yes.
Definitely.
Got you.
So, gentlemen, rock, paper, scissors, your way to whoever going.
Abe.
Abraham, you know your name.
Play the
Now,
games.
see, if we get disrespectful with him, then he gonna come back.
Wait, no,
loud.
my fault. No, I stepped
There it
away
is.
because I have to go take care of something real quick. What are it is my turn to what? What are y'all calling me for? What are y'all yelling me about?
Outros. We trying to wrap it up.
Okay. Okay. Nah, just something came up. I'm sorry. It is Prince Elawa, Anikulapo, Laburu, Jin of Apocalypse, Son of Darkside. You know,
you see him frowning on you, Bo, like he speak better Nigerian than you, trying to
not Nigerian. Oh my God, better Nigerian.
I mean, it's just, hey, look, Anikulapo and Laburu is just, you know, like it's Bo. I mean, Bo.
It's okay.
You a proud Nigerian, you know, flex on them, sir. Like I don't have to be the only one to flex on them. But you if you don't know me at this point, like I don't know what to fucking tell you. But you can find me on the Ocean Abe podcast for those who like talking about sports and culture. Episodes, we drop 2 episodes a week. One is usually on a Wednesday or Thursday. That's when we cover some of the games that we enjoyed. And on Fridays, we talk about more sports related topics. We record on Fridays, drop on Sundays. I am also part of course, Inside the Mind of a Blerd. Definitely check out Mayanaka Mixer for those who really want to get their anime and manga intakes, especially when it comes to anime music from the big bro Black Hole player. Definitely check out Careful for Spoilers every Friday for if you want to. I know, well, at the time of this recording, we would have dropped an episode that is doing a Young Justice review. Check out Anime Lately. They usually record on Thursdays. And I always say this every time. Please, please, please head over to Twitch and go look up Spicy Lady Gaming. Definitely follow her. She does a great job over there. She's entertaining. She's fun. You definitely want to hear her start raging when she's playing Valorant and all that jazz. Or playing Genshin, just raging in general. It's hilarious. But please support all these content creators. They're doing all a great job, and they're Black or minority owned, and we love that. We absolutely do love that. Support the community, show some love, and yeah, I'm out.
All right then, Bo, Abe, which one do you want to go?
Abe just
you just. Oh my gosh, you see, this the
Bo,
racism. This is honestly the real reason why you haven't heard me on any Inside the Mind of a Blerd episodes is because racism right here, discrimination. Apparently, all Nigerians.
In the car.
It's not even all Nigerians look the same because it's not. It's not you calling me Bo.
That right there gonna make him cry.
All niggas. Apparently, I look like all the niggas on the pod. I'm Bo. I'm Alpha. I'm not. I'm a crackhead. Like, what's up? Like,
listen. I know the difference between you. Because every single word that now I know the difference between you and Bo because every single word that ends in the A turns into an R with Bo.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
Now how many times did I have to tell you about the N word?
No,
like he done. Bo can easily turn nigga into the ER.
Yeah,
very
Bo
quickly.
Bo can't say the N word because he doesn't mean it, but it actually comes
nigga.
Off like, what? Look at how much you had to force yourself to get it right. You know, naturally, your A's do be turning. Cam, you was goddamn. Thank you for not mistaking me for this heathen. I appreciate you. Unlike
God.
Steve.
I know it's because when Bo says something that ends with the A at the sound, he turns it into an R, and we had a whole. Oh, I wish we had caught that when he and then he reinforced it.
Yeah, we did.
Reinforced it and
I had the audio
again.
file. Don't make me go back into the.
Wait a minute, Bo stood on that hill. Bo was on that hill. But yeah, Bo.
He repeated himself. Yeah, he did. I was like, no.
He sure did. He sure did. He was like, y'all heard what I said. But Bo Alpha, go ahead and let us up on out of here.
Yeah, Bo.
Whatever. You know what? Whatever. Anyway.
He gonna cry in the car too.
Oh motherfucking night.
Anywho. Isbo done did it. Apparently, the guy who can't pronounce the N word without an ER. You could catch me on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch. Well, first of all, you can catch me on Twitch and Twitter. I mostly stream on the weekends on Twitch, so you can catch me playing Genshin or some other random game that I decide to play. You can find me on Twitter. Doing some shenanigans. I can't say that word anyway. You know, yeah, that word. Anyway, it's late. Yeah. So catch me on Twitter and Twitch. Don't be afraid to follow me. Also check out. Don't be afraid to follow our pod. The Mind Blur pod. The Mind Blur pod. Yeah, go. Because apparently it's said differently.
Who he with, who he wrong.
I was gonna say Inside the Mind of the Blerd.
Bo said he tired, y'all.
Yeah, I said I was tired. Okay,
Abe acting like it's not 9 o'clock for him.
Yeah,
it's 11. It's 11 for us.
11 for us. Yeah,
it's like what midnight for y'all.
Yeah, it's midnight for me. But I said Abe.
The evening is just, you know what? I'm about to go crack open this bottle of Casamigos, baby.
What about crack?
Yo, crack? What about crack?
I said
Huh?
open
I knew
a
it.
bottle.
I knew
of
it. I
Casa-
knew it. I knew it. I
Oh.
knew it.
Mm. Y'all heard it here
All
first.
right. And then Alpha, go ahead and take us out. Oh, that's it. We can't hear you.
I think he knows. Oh.
How the
Exclusive.
originator of the stream muting himself, dog? How that happen?
Yeah.
Because don't worry about it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been another episode of Inside the Mind of the Blerd. Check out our Twitter, the Blerd Mind Pod, and catch at us. Thank everybody fucking up. And yeah, you can always find me, Misha KT, on Twitter. Go ahead and talk to us. Also, check out our store, buy some merch, as well as go ahead and add us on Instagram, Twitter, where you can find the link tree and find all our social medias. Thank you for listening this far. This has been another episode of Inside the Mind of the Blerd. Same place, same time, every time. Deuces.